Main Street Hospice, your hometown hospice, are experts in symptom management and caring. They serve Johnson, Marion, and surrounding counties. Premier Giant Productions is Indy's #1 choice for premium video production. Our videos are custom built for you. They're designed to attract viewers by showcasing your message in a cinematic and visually appealing way. We offer many types of services, including TV and internet ads, corporate videos, event videography, editing services, and much, much more. Premier Giant Productions, Indy's #1 choice for premium video production. Main Street Hospice, your hometown hospice, are experts in symptom management and caring. They serve Johnson, Marion, and surrounding counties. Premier Giant Productions is Indy's #1 choice for premium video production. Our videos are custom built for you. They're designed to attract viewers by showcasing your message in a cinematic and visually appealing way. We offer many types of services, including TV and internet ads, corporate videos, event videography, editing services, and much, much more. Premier Giant Productions, Indy's #1 choice for premium video production. Main Street Hospice, your hometown hospice, are experts in symptom management and caring. They serve Johnson, Marion, and surrounding counties. Premier Giant Productions is Indy's #1 choice for premium video production. Our videos are custom built for you. They're designed to attract viewers by showcasing your message in a cinematic and visually appealing way. We offer many types of services, including TV and internet ads, corporate videos, event videography, editing services, and much, much more. Premier Giant Productions, Indy's #1 choice for premium video production. Main Street Hospice, your hometown hospice, are experts in symptom management and caring. They serve Johnson, Marion, and surrounding counties. Premier Giant Productions is Indy's #1 choice for premium video production. Our videos are custom built for you. They're designed to attract viewers by showcasing your message in a cinematic and visually appealing way. We offer many types of services, including TV and internet ads, corporate videos, event videography, editing services, and much, much more. Premier Giant Productions, Indy's #1 choice for premium video production. Main Street Hospice, your hometown hospice, are experts in symptom management and caring. They serve Johnson, Marion, and surrounding counties. Premier Giant Productions is Indy's #1 choice for premium video production. Our videos are custom built for you. They're designed to attract viewers by showcasing your message in a cinematic and visually appealing way. We offer many types of services, including TV and internet ads, corporate videos, event videography, editing services, and much, much more. Premier Giant Productions, Indy's #1 choice for premium video production. Main Street Hospice, your hometown hospice, are experts in symptom management and caring. They serve Johnson, Marion, and surrounding counties. Premier Giant Productions is Indy's #1 choice for premium video production. Our videos are custom built for you. They're designed to attract viewers by showcasing your message in a cinematic and visually appealing way. We offer many types of services, including TV and internet ads, corporate videos, event videography, editing services, and much, much more. Premier Giant Productions, Indy's #1 choice for premium video production. Main Street Hospice, your hometown hospice, are experts in symptom management and caring. They serve Johnson, Marion, and surrounding counties. Premier Giant Productions is Indy's #1 choice for premium video production. Our videos are custom built for you. They're designed to attract viewers by showcasing your message in a cinematic and visually appealing way. We offer many types of services, including TV and internet ads, corporate videos, event videography, editing services, and much, much more. Premier Giant Productions, Indy's #1 choice for premium video production. Main Street Hospice, your hometown hospice, are experts in symptom management and caring. They serve Johnson, Marion, and surrounding counties. Premier Giant Productions is Indy's #1 choice for premium video production. Our videos are custom built for you. They're designed to attract viewers by showcasing your message in a cinematic and visually appealing way. We offer many types of services, including TV and internet ads, corporate videos, event videography, editing services, and much, much more. Premier Giant Productions, Indy's #1 choice for premium video production.
Welcome to another episode of Everything College Basketball Podcast, where you'll find out everything that happened in the college hoops world. Now, here's your host of the show, Josh, Peyton, and Tyler.
Hey, and we are live and in living color. Episode number 16 of Everything College Basketball, presented by the Applied Right Painting Services. And again, collaboration with Premier Giant Productions. I'm, of course, Josh Burton.
I'm, of course, Peyton Burton.
Tyler Cook's here again, boys.
And we have finally made it, fellas. Not only is it March, but it's NCAA tournament time.
Finally.
We are finally here. We have worked all year for this. We have gave you information throughout the year. We've soaked in information ourselves. We've worked diligently with the numbers, and we are finally here. The field of 68 was revealed last night on CBS, and my Lord, I couldn't be more excited.
Me too. It seems like you took the words right out of my mouth, because we are finally here. March Madness is finally here, and I am super excited. We've done our research all the way from late November when we started this podcast to now in March, and we are finally here. We've done our research on the teams like mid-major teams like Murray State all the way to the powerhouses of Duke. We are here, and I'm super excited.
It's game time, boys. Big dance. Get in the thing, our bracket challenge. Go ahead and get in that. We got some people coming in. The more the merrier, the more money you can win. We're all about some money, guys. So get in there. This is going to be huge. I think we all can agree that the brackets came out pretty fair. A couple back and forth that we may touch on that we didn't think were the best, but it's game time, guys. It's time to go.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, too. I am so glad. I was concerned that that the NCAA committee would do the wrong thing and put a team that didn't deserve to be in the NCAA tournament over a team like a Belmont. But thank the Lord that they went the mid-major route and gave them a little bit of respect. Even though UNC Greensboro, or Lipscomb didn't make it, you did see Belmont make it. They absolutely deserved it, so thank God for that.
100%.
Just recapping, just briefly, before we dive right into these regions, because we've promised you that we're going to have as good as breakdown as anybody. Looking back, reflecting on Champ Week. Obviously, we had 32 automatic bids, or was it? Yeah, 32 conference tournaments, 32 automatic bids. Real quick, looking back, reflecting on some of the major conference tournaments. Did it surprise you guys to see Auburn win the SEC and win it in convincing fashion over Tennessee?
It did not surprise me they won it or even made it to there, but it did surprise me how bad they beat Tennessee. That did surprise me.
Yeah, playing that many games and back to back to back, it's tough on people, man. It's hard. I mean, you're in there banging forever. And I'm surprised that Auburn came out as fresh as they looked. Auburn went out there and what was it, like a 15-point game? It was terrible for
they were up
Tennessee.
Like 20 something. I think they won by 20.
Yeah, it was a pretty
so.
good spread. So that Auburn, it wasn't a surprise that they were there, but as fresh as they looked, that was a surprising part.
Yeah, 4 games in 4 days. And I tell you another team that looked really good this past week was Iowa State winning the Big 12. That's a team that is, we've mentioned it throughout the year, it's really dangerous because how well they shoot the ball in their offense in general. You got a guy like Shayok and Halliburton. Those are dynamite players. But they kind of took the Big 12 by storm this past week and was able to knock off the Jayhawks in their backyard for the title.
It wasn't a surprise for me. They've won this 4 out of 6 years now. And this is the lowest seed they've ever won it at, but they've won it at the 3 seed. They've won it at the 4 seed, and then this year was the 5 seed, I think. So Iowa State they are not unfamiliar with this territory, and I wasn't surprised. I even picked it last week that Iowa State would take the Big 12, and it came true this time.
What do you guys think about moving on to the Big Ten? It's not surprising Michigan State won the Big Ten tournament title, but I think it's surprising that they swept Michigan this year 3-0.
That's the most surprising part of it all, that they swept Michigan 3-0 this year. I never would have thought that. I did last week predict that Michigan State was going to win the Big Ten championship, but the way they won it and like how they beat Michigan again for the 3rd time, that was surprising a little bit.
Yeah, and then they had another injury.
Yes.
Oh, God,
it's terrible.
that one.
That's broke. I don't know. I haven't got anything.
I didn't see it, but the instant reaction I heard and some members on our board was like, it's bad. I cannot watch it.
Izzo was in tears. Ward was in tears. They've had injuries throughout the year too. Michigan's full strength, and they're still getting beat. And it's different with your in-state rival. It's a little bit different atmosphere, but still, you drop 0-3 against them. That's not a good look. Michigan's still one of my favorite teams to watch, but Michigan State had their number this year.
Yeah, and it's that time of year. We dubbed him last week. Tom Izzo's Mr.
March.
Here he comes.
And then the other mega conference tournament would be the ACC.
Yep.
And any surprise to you guys that Duke won? I mean, Zion Williamson made his return, and boy, did he ever.
Yeah, it didn't surprise me at all. I mean, the only thing that surprised me in that tourney, that's Florida State defeated Virginia in the semifinals. That was the one that surprised me. Virginia did not play well, and Florida State did. But no shock Duke won it.
Nope. And then Duke had an injury as well. What's his name?
Marcus Bolden.
Marcus Bolden. He was down.
Yeah,
now he's not a focal point, but they're not as deep as everybody came to think at the beginning of the year. And taking an injury to your big man, that was a pretty big blow. But they still, with Zion back, that's going to help you out a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember what he went for in the Florida State game, but I know in the Syracuse and North Carolina game he went for 29 and 13 or 14 rebounds, and then 31 and 14. And
he went 13 of 13 from the field.
And I was going to say, in both them games combined, he went 26 of. Well, he only missed 6 shots, so 26 of 32, something like that from the field.
Nuts.
Absolutely. The kid, if you don't believe he's player of the year now, then you just have a bias.
It just pure hate.
He's got to be player of the year.
For sure, player of the year, 100%. Yeah,
I mean, we touched
I'm not
on
fond of Duke either, but man, oh man, you got to game respect game. Zion, you got it.
Yeah. So just kind of like I said, we recap the Champ Week. We're going to Oh, Peyton, by the way, recapping stuff. Tyler mentioned we have our tournament challenge. Go to our Facebook group. You must be a member. If you're not a member, just go sign up, join the group, and then you'll find the link to how to join and everything in the top of the announcements. But one of the people who joined early into the tournament challenge is our good friend from Everything Pro Wrestling, Conrad Cushman.
Yep, Conrad Cushman is the host of the Everything Pro Wrestling podcast. Everything Pro Wrestling is a show by the fans, for the fans. And you can find that podcast on Anchor, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, and all other podcast hosting sites. He also has a YouTube channel, so go to youtube.com and type in the search bar Everything Pro Wrestling and hit that sub button, because it's not just a big month for us, for college basketball fans, it's a big month for him too, because WrestleMania is just around the corner.
WrestleMania coming up, and go check his latest podcast out. He has current professional wrestler on the national scene, star of Lucha Underground, Marty the Moth, and that's a fantastic, just a sneak behind. It's not the typical wrestler interview. He asks him a lot of pretty much fan questions.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. He's got a brand new intro. He got the same guy to do his as we did ours. Conrad's a good dude, follows us, been on here many times. Go support him. But when we come back, fellas, it's time to dive into it. We'll be diving into the East region right after this.
What's happening, college hoops fans? It is Conrad Cushman from the Everything Pro Wrestling podcast, and I'm here to tell you how you can follow Everything Pro Wrestling. First, go to your Facebook, type in the search bar Everything Pro Wrestling. Look for our official page with over 1,000 likes and make sure you give it a like. Also, we have a closed group with over 200 members in it where you can join discussions and talk about anything and everything pro wrestling. We also have a Twitter handle, and that is at EPW Show. And we have a podcast, and the podcast is available on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Stitcher. And remember, Everything Pro Wrestling is a show by the fans, for the fans. Now let's get back to talking some college hoops.
Hey guys, Peyton here from ECB. I'm here to tell you about my wrestling podcast that's called The J3X Show. That's only on YouTube. You'll see predictions, pay-per-view reviews, and live streams on there. So go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. Also, go follow the show on Twitter at J3X Show.
Ooh, yeah, brother.
Oh, kind of caught me off guard there for a second. Sorry. We're back. East Region breakdown. The East Region, the regional finals, the Sweet 16, Elite 8 will be played in Washington, D.C. And your number one seed in the East, the number one overall seed, the Duke Blue Devils. Somehow, I mean, Duke at full strength to me is the best team in America. I've said it all year. And with Zion coming back, I think they kind of proved it, and they left an impression. I think it's kind of sketchy, too, that the head of the selection committee is also the Duke AD, so I think that held some weight to it as well. But nonetheless, Duke's number one seed in the East region. They will be playing the winner of the play-in game, the 16 seeds. You got North Carolina Central, and you've got North Dakota State. I don't think it matters who Duke plays. Duke wins in a rout.
No question about it. No matter who wins this playoff game or play-in game, Duke's going to smash them.
There's a little story behind the play-in game, boys. We'll touch on it here later on. But it doesn't matter. I don't care if you put the 5 best players between these two teams. They still ain't getting within 20. Duke smash.
Yeah.
Duke smash.
Duke smash.
Duke smash.
The 8-9 matchup has a lot of potential, though. The 8-9 matchup, you're looking at VCU as the 8 seed and UCF as the 9. Excuse me. VCU, everybody knew, they made that Final Four. God, it's been about 8 years ago now under Shaka Smart, and they've been consistently good, underrated. They've had some really good. Will Wade came from VCU. Shaka Smart's from VCU. The dude that I can't think of his name, the Grant dude that coached at Alabama for a little bit, was real good at VCU. Uh-huh. They've had some over the last 10 to 15 years, had some real good teams. And VCU, got a little note on them here. VCU star point guard Marcus Evans injured his left knee in the Atlantic 10 tournament as VCU was knocked off in the Atlantic 10 in like the quarters, upset by Rhode Island. But the test results revealed no structural damage, and he's aiming to play in the NCAA tournament. That's obviously big for the Rams anytime you get your star player, especially a point guard, because the NCAA tournament is all about guard play, in my opinion. And I wrote down that's big news for the Rams. The junior led the team in steals, averaging almost 2 steals per game, assists 3.3, and scoring 13.8. So that's a lot of production that, if he can come back, will help VCU. VCU is number 7 overall in defense, team that really gets after you. They may not press all the time like they would with Shaka Smart and those guys, but they really solid man-to-man. And they're 3rd in three-point percentage defense. Teams are only shooting 27.6% from 3 against them. I think UCF, and this is interesting because UCF is led by 7'6" center Taco Fall.
Taco Fall, yep.
It could be really, really interesting because it's a style matchup. Defense on VCU, Central Florida plays good D, but they're going to pound it in the paint on you. I mean, if you have a guy that's 7'6", why not?
Why not?
Just throw it up there and let him try to go get the rebound. Got some good guards. Johnny Dawkins has done a hell of a job at UCF. He kind of struggled at Stanford the latter years, the reason they let him go. He found himself in Orlando and brought UCF along. These 8-9 matchups are always fun, too. They're always fun because you never know. It literally is as close as toss-up as you can get. I have VCU winning and moving on to the second round to play Duke. What say you guys?
I think it's going to be a tough matchup. I got VCU winning as well. I think UCF's going to give them a game. I think Taco Fall is going to be an inside force for Central Florida. But I just think VCU is going to be able to pound it and hit some shots. They only shoot 30% from the 3. It's not very good. You're going to have to hit some shots in this tourney to win games. But I think you'll be able to hit at least a couple to get this W.
Yeah, real quick before Tyler, I said the 8-9 matchups are as close as you can get. Quick seed fact here. The 8-9 matchups have split their last 136 meetings since 1985. Right down the middle. So it really is a toss-up in all of these.
Well, the predictions aren't to toss up with us. It's VCU across the board. They got B.J. Taylor lead the score man for UCF. And Taco Fall, for being as tall as he is, he only averages 7 rebounds a game. I'm not sold on this guy. He's just a big goober. You're that big and goofy. He's not. If he was 7 foot, he wouldn't be playing D1. Yeah. In my opinion, if you're a Taco Fall fan, sorry, I don't like him. With Marcus Evans, if he's playing, it's definitely a VCU win.
Yeah, I think we all agree. And again, that 3-point percentage defense, you'll hear us harp on this throughout the whole tournament breakdown. 3-point shooting and 3-point defense, because the way the game has fluctuated and went more NBA route, it's a big deal. VCU 3rd in the nation. Teams only shooting 27.6%. If you can't hit some shots from outside and open up that stingy D, you're in trouble. Yep. I think we all agree VCU moves on to play Duke.
VCU plays, yep.
Moving down the bracket in first round action. We have number 5, Mississippi State, playing number 12, Liberty. Now, this is an interesting one. If you hear guys from other networks, some of them like Liberty in the upset here. There's some of them. I've got something on Liberty. It says, and this is directly, by the way, this Liberty is directly, I'll give credit to ESPN on this one. No one will mistake the Flames for being in a hurry at the offensive end, as they are among the slowest paced teams in the country, but they are very effective in the half court. 57% on 2-pointers, 37% on 3s, among the nation's best at the free throw line, 78%. 5 different players have had at least 44 3-pointers. That is a really balanced team. That team, you know what that team reminds me of? I know they're not as good defensively as Virginia, but it sounds a lot like a Virginia team, does it not?
Yes.
Slow the pace.
Yeah.
Shoots the ball really well anywhere on the floor, and knocks free throws down. They've had 5 guys hit 44 or more 3-pointers this year. That's why and Mississippi State, I've had the benefit of watching a bunch of them. Quindary Witherspoon is a super talented guard for Ben Howland's team. But Mississippi State's been fluctuating up and down. They have talent to make a run, but they also have turnover prone, and if they're not ready to play, this is where an upset lies. Me personally, I went with Mississippi State. I think the Bulldogs were just going to be too much for them. But you do want to watch out. If this game gets late and Liberty's got a lead, work the shot clock, get an easy one. Mississippi State overcommits, hit them on a back door. Or if they're playing out at reckless, you hit a 3 on them. Yep. I think it's going to be a lot closer than what people think. I do have Mississippi State winning.
With the first upset on my bracket, I like the number 12 seed Liberty to defeat Mississippi State. I think they're going to be able to hit shots, spread Mississippi State out, and take their time and be patient on offense. They're shooting 36.6% from three-point line. I think that's a great team to watch out for. Liberty upset.
Sound the upset. We need an alarm or something for every
Dang
upset.
I seen all the breakdown yesterday. I seen a lot of people riding this Liberty upset. I'm not with it. I've watched them both play a handful of times, and that Weatherspoon kid is just impressive.
He's really
I don't
good.
see the Scotty James for Liberty. You know, he averages 13 points and 8.8 rebounds a game. Tough, not Weatherspoon tough, and I don't see a predicament to where they can slow down Mississippi State enough to spread it out and get a win. I'm going with Mississippi State on this one, and pretty handedly. I know everybody likes the 5-12 matchup. I got one for you later, but this one isn't.
Another one, yeah.
This one isn't mine. Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Yeah, speaking of the 5-12 matchup, here's another seed fact, because that is the most popular one normally of upsets.
That's usually what I used to pick.
Well,
yeah.
it's normally, but only 5 times since 1985 has at least one 12 seed failed to defeat a 5 seed, and last year was one of those times. So I think that we are due for a 12 over 5, maybe multiple 12 over 5s. But I do have Mississippi State. So 2 Mississippi State, 1 Liberty in this one. Moving down, though, and the number 4 team in this region, you have Virginia Tech, the Hokies, playing 13-seeded St. Louis Billikens. St. Louis is led by former Kentucky superstar and former Oklahoma State head coach Travis Ford. Travis landed on his feet at St. Louis and obviously got the ship rolling there. They were able to win the Atlantic 10 that VCU's from. St. Louis was able to win that. St. Louis plays really good defense, struggles scoring the basketball. Virginia Tech's got a high-powered offense, so it really is the yin and the yang meeting each other. I like Virginia Tech in this. I do think, though, however, St. Louis can keep it close for 30 minutes of the game, 35, just because how stingy their defense is. But if you can't manufacture points off of it, doesn't really matter, and you're playing a team that's explosive. Blackshear is really good for Virginia Tech. I have the Hokies moving on.
I have the Hokies moving on as well. One of my key factors for this tournament for every team is at some point you gotta be able to hit shots from the three-point line. At some point, whether it's early, mid-game, late game, you gotta hit threes, and Virginia Tech can hit it. They've shooting 39.4% from three. They're a great offensive team. I think they're coming out with a W. Virginia Tech.
Va-Tech across the board. You know, Nikolai Alexander Walker, 16.6 games. We just touched on Blackshear Jr., the tiptoe wonder. I've seen this before, man. He walks on his tiptoes. It's just the funniest thing to watch. Watch this kid whenever you get a chance to watch him. Just do. There he goes. He averages 14.7 points a game and then 7.4 boards. You know, St. Louis is led by Javon Best, 15.3 points. They don't score the basketball well enough to keep up with Virginia Tech, who has shined in moments in a tough ACC
Beat Duke
conference.
just a week or two ago.
Yes, they've beaten Duke, and if you can play up to Duke, you can walk over St. Louis.
Yeah, we're in agreement with that. This next one's a fun one. This next one is number 6 seed Maryland Terrapins against the number 11 seed. It's a play-in game. We alluded to Belmont. The Bruins made it in. They will play on
Tuesday, right?
They will play on Tuesday night, actually tomorrow night, in the play-in game against the Temple Owls, who's also a bubble team that made it in. Yep. It's a fun one. Rick Byrd, head coach of Belmont, has always had a winning season since Belmont became Division I, or since he took over Belmont at least. Belmont, an Ohio Valley team, but they always play a good schedule. They're one of those mid-major teams that major conference teams don't want to go play them a lot of times. I like Belmont in this matchup of beating Temple, and then I like Belmont beating Maryland. But I will put the caveat, if Temple wins, I like Temple beating Maryland. What I'm trying to say is I like the 11 seed over the 6 here. Not sold on Maryland. I think Bruno Fernando is a fantastic center. But give me Belmont or Temple. In my opinion, it's going to be Belmont. Give me Belmont over the Terrapins. Tyler, I'll let you start on this one first.
I agree with you. Maryland, I don't see anything that shows them continuously playing well. You know, they got Anthony Cowan Jr., averaged 16 points a game, and Fernando, he's 13 0.7 points and 10 rebounds a game. He's a double-double machine. But you got to have an upset. Sound the damn alarm, boys. It's happening. Belmont takes out Temple on Tuesday. They come in hot. And they slip past Maryland. I agree with you.
We're going to sweep that. If Temple ends up beating Belmont, then I'm going with Maryland. But I say Belmont's going to beat Temple yet tomorrow. So it's at 9:10 Eastern time.
Yep.
And if they beat Temple, I like Belmont in this matchup. You mentioned, what's his name? Dylan Windler.
Dylan Windler, former shout-out of mine.
Former shout-out of yours. He averages 21.4 points per game and 10.7 rebounds per game. He also shoots 43% from three-point line. That's a hell of a stat right there. And also backed by Kevin McLean, who averages 16.3 points per game. So, and they're 20th in offensive efficiency on King Palm. So I like Belmont for this upset.
Very nice. So we're just, no offense, Maryland fans. We don't believe in you right now.
Yes, offense to Maryland fans. I went to Louisville a couple years ago, Sweet 16. Bottom feeder as far as fans out there. You guys are just, I'm not going to say it. You guys are not good people. You're not good people.
Now this next matchup in this region could get dicey. You have the 3 seed LSU, who we've been high on all year. They did get bounced in the quarterfinals of the SEC tournament. Florida was able to knock them off again. They do have scandals surrounding them. They're playing the 14 seed Yale. I don't even know what Yale's nickname is. That's my bad for not knowing. But Yale 14 seed. But this isn't your dad's or your granddad's Yale. This isn't an Ivy League team that's just going to backdoor you. This team's averaging like 79, 80 points. In their Ivy League championship game against Harvard, they put up 90.
Yep.
They're led, Yale that is, they are led by an NBA talent in Mie Oni. He's a 6'6" junior. They've played the likes of Duke this year. Yale is really talented. Oni, back to him, shoots 39% from three, averages 17.6 points per game. Yale is 44th in adjusted offensive efficiency on Ken Palm. This is, like I said, this isn't your dad's or your granddad's Yale team. This isn't a typical Ivy League team. They will get up and down. They will score points on you. But I think at the end of the day, LSU's too big, too athletic, too loaded. Honestly, they've got NBA talent themselves.
Yes.
Give me LSU in this matchup, but Yale could be interesting.
I like the Tigers defeating the Bulldogs. That's their nickname. I had to search it up. The Yale Bulldogs, that's a common nickname for teams. But, yeah, I like LSU winning this. Same thing you said. They're bigger, more athletic, and backed by NBA talent. I'm high on Javonte Smart right now, even though with all the scandals going on and all that crap, I'm high on them. And then Tremont Waters shoot the lights out. So I like LSU with this W.
LSU is across the board, guys. They're just too tough. If I can't pronounce your name, I probably can't pick you. I'm sorry, Onai from Yale. I'm not going with you. I wrote his name down. I'm glad you went first because I sure couldn't spit that out. Tremont Waters, they're going to vacate these wins anyways. Might as well get you one to lose it later on. LSU, go
what
ahead.
What do you think? That's for another day. That's after tournament. But, no, Mie Oni is an NBA talent. That kid is really good.
I've seen him get after it a couple times.
I'll tell you how good he is. If he decides to come back next year, and for a senior year at Yale, he's a kid that could be in that Wooden watch for Player of the Year. He's really good.
Let me get this one.
Okay, bottom.
Let me get this one.
Bottom of the bracket, 7-10 matchup. Hit them up.
7 seed Louisville Cardinals takes on 10 seed Minnesota Gophers.
Golden Gophers.
Golden Gophers. Before I get into this game, committee, you know exactly what you're doing. They did this on purpose. Obviously, Minnesota, coached by Richard Pitino, son of Rick Pitino, and who coached at Louisville. Obviously, you already know what happened, whatever. But they did this on purpose. They love drama. Like Tim Foster said in our group, they love storylines. They 100% did this on purpose. They did.
Just keep going. I'm in my own world over here.
Does it surprise you? No. That's what they do. They do it for ratings. Yeah. And this is the first game, by the way, to tip off the official tournament on Thursday. 12:15 tip time.
12:15 Eastern time on Thursday to tip off. I just wanted to say that real quick, that they obviously did this on purpose. Now, get into this game. Louisville went 20-13. That was the overall record. They put up 74.7 points per game while shooting 43.6% from the field and 34.5% from three-point range during the regular season. As a team, the Cardinals averaged 38 rebounds, 13.2 assists, 4.6 steals, 2.9 blocks, and 12.4 turnovers per game in regular season play. Some players you need to watch out for Louisville. Louisville's big three. Jordan Noir averages 17.3 points per game and 7.7 rebounds a game. He was ACC Most Improved Player for this year, which he deserved. Dwayne Sutton recorded 10.3 points per game and 6.9 rebounds. Christian Cunningham averaged 10.1 points and 4.9 steals or assists. That's Louisville's big three. You need to watch out for them. From Minnesota, their big three. Well, they're big-time players you need to watch out for. Amir Coffey averaged 16 points per game and 3.2 assists per game.
Very
Jordan
good player.
Murphy,
Very good player.
14.5 points per game and 11.7 rebounds
I think
per
he's
game.
led the nation in rebounding.
And then finally, Daniel Arturo, who recorded 10.8 points per game and 7.2 rebounds per game with 1.4 blocks per game. Those are the three players you need to watch out for both teams. If Louisville hits shots, both halves, you can't just play a good 30 minutes, hit shots, and then 10 minutes not good. You need to hit shots. And if Louisville can do that, I like the Cardinals winning this game.
Well,
So I'm going Cardinals.
interesting.
Tough matchup, though.
Just short and sweet. I like Louisville in this matchup. I do think Minnesota presents some problems rebounding the basketball, and Amir Coffey's a guy underrated who can go get buckets if need be. Jordan Murphy, we mentioned, can rebound the ball. But I think at the end of the day, Louisville will just overwhelm them. I think Louisville's pressure on defense, their version of the pack line will stifle Minnesota.
Yep.
Give me the Cards in this one.
Cook?
Minnesota plays at the barn, correct? Is that the nickname?
Yep,
Yeah.
the barn.
I lived in the barn for 10
The
plus
barn,
years.
yeah.
Legendary across the three surrounding counties. Now, if Tyler Cook went to Minnesota, I'd have to pick him. There's too much going on.
You'd be a Minnesota fan.
Oh,
this-
I've
he
been a
would
gopher
be.
all the way, but I am not. I have my Jackrabbit T-shirt coming in the mail. Minnesota gets beat by Louisville. Like Peyton, he already touched on everybody. So they got too many weapons that I think that Minnesota can't keep up with. Louisville walks away with this one.
Final
like it.
game of the first round of the East region. I think this is an easy one. We got 2-seed Michigan State, who I think got screwed in their seeding. Not that they got screwed in the 2, but I think they got screwed put in Duke's region. And then you got the 15-seed Bradley. Unless Bradley's just one of those miracle teams that hits 15 three-pointers, Michigan State in a rout. Simple and sweet.
Michigan State's playing as good as anybody in the nation right now. Michigan State all the way.
They're probably not happy with the seeding, like you said. Winning the Big Ten Conference, have to go into the Duke region. No one would like to go to the Duke region. But
Oh, hell no.
this is going to be a proven point for these guys. You done fired them up. Cassius Winston, Nick Ward, they're coming for you. Bradley, I am sorry that you got this draw. Michigan State Sparty all the way.
So that concludes round one. Moving on to round two, we got some, as always, a further move on, interesting matchups. In my side of the bracket here, because this is where we can start to differentiate. My side, in the second round, you have Duke versus VCU. VCU, we talked about their defense. Everybody knows how good Duke is on both sides of the ball, defense and offense. VCU, I do think, could cause some problems for Duke because how good their defense is and the three-point defensive, or the way they defend the three. But at the end of the day, Duke is too much. You have who's got Zion and who doesn't. In this case, give me Duke over VCU to make the Sweet 16.
Same here with me. Dukies.
It's too easy. Too easy. Shooting fish in a barrel, Duke.
Another round two matchup in that one. This would be a fun one. In my case, we have Mississippi State, the 5 seed, against 4 seed Virginia Tech. Both of them can score the basketball. Both of them defend. I think defensively, though, Virginia Tech's a little bit better than Mississippi State, and I think overall they're a little bit better. More playmakers. Give me Virginia Tech in that matchup to set up another rematch in the Sweet 16 against Duke.
So from my side, I have number 12 seed Liberty taking on number 4 seed Virginia Tech. And this is where the brackets can start looking weird and changing for us. I like Liberty for another upset, defeating Virginia Tech. I think if it's a close game with a minute left, a team like Liberty is a dangerous team, and I like them winning, beating Virginia Tech. Cook, I see you over there moving around.
Yeah, I'm trying to get away from you. Rub that bad juju off on me. I got the Bulldogs and Virginia Tech as well. Josh mentioned it. Josh is probably right. Virginia Tech, Blackshear and them tiptoe past the Bulldogs. Sorry, Jimmy Pillow, you won the Pick'em Challenge, but you didn't win. You didn't win into the Sweet 16.
Now, in this other second-round matchup, we would have, in my case, like I said, I still took the winner of Belmont-Temple. I think it's Belmont, but it could be Temple either way. Against LSU, I think that's where the run stops for that 11 seed. Same reason we mentioned against Yale. LSU, despite all the controversy, still really good and really talented. Give me the Tigers in the Sweet 16.
I have Belmont taking on LSU. And with another upset, I like Belmont defeating LSU Tigers. That's all I got.
LSU.
Short and sweet. And then the last second-round matchup of this region, this would be a fun one to rematch. In my case, I've got the Louisville Cardinals. I think all of us. We've got Louisville versus Michigan State. This is where Sparty's road ends. They go 0-2 against the Cards. I'm telling you, I think without Josh Langford and Nick Ward still being a little hobbled, I do think Louisville has enough weapons. I think Louisville spreads Michigan State out. If you watched Indiana, this is real quick. Indiana beat Michigan State because they spread them out and was able to hit threes. I think Louisville can do the same thing that they've already done to them before. Give me the Cardinals in the Sweet 16 over Spartans, 7-2.
Go back to episode 13 of the podcast. I think that's the correct episode whenever they announced the first top 16 teams. I think that was episode 13. What did I say I did not want to happen, Josh?
You said you didn't want Michigan State in the region with Louisville or Kansas.
And when I saw Michigan State watching Selection Sunday yesterday, when I saw Michigan State right there as a 2 seed, and I'm like, damn it. Okay. Round 2. I like Louisville beating them again. Like you said, they're going to spread them out. Jordan North's going to have a phenomenal tournament run, and I like the Cardinals moving on to the Sweet 16.
We are going to differ. Louisville does have enough weapons, but they do not have the mastermind of Tom Izzo.
That's very true.
Tom Izzo does this time and time again. When you think he's out, boy, he just stands right back up. He's like the Undertaker. Just sets right back up in your face. Here he comes. There you go, Conrad. Sparty gets past the Cardinals. 5 points. 5-point difference. The Spartans win.
Be a fun game. So Sweet 16, as we start to rapid fire here, close up the East region. Sweet 16, I have Duke versus Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech beat them in the last meeting, but Zion didn't play. R.J. Barrett wasn't the greatest. Cam Reddish really carried them. Give me Duke, probably big. Give me Duke in the lead 8.
I have Duke versus Liberty, and that's when the run ends for Liberty. Duke by like 20. Zion's the factor.
Duke, Virginia Tech. Duke goes past.
And the other Sweet 16 matchup is another fun one, LSU versus Louisville. It's the same thing. I mean, Louisville will spread out the bigs of LSU, but on the backboard, LSU is as good as they come. I think that's where they would hurt Louisville. Yes. Second, third, maybe fourth opportunities to get shots put in or kick out threes. LSU marches on to the Elite 8.
I have Belmont taking on Louisville, and I like Louisville going through. I think Nora and McMahon, I think they're going to come out motivated, and they're going to be ready for this game. Louisville making it into the Elite 8.
I got LSU versus Sparty. I touched on Izzo being the man. I do not think it's going to happen for him, though. LSU wins and has to vacate it later to play Duke on my side.
So me and Tyler, we'll go ahead and do ours. In our Elite 8, for a chance to go to Minnesota to the Final Four. The first Final Four bid on the line. You have the number 1 seed Duke. You have number 3 seed LSU. LSU presents a lot of problems and a depth factor. The front court, they have the front court. They're one of the few teams that has a front court that can really match Duke and Zion and neutralize him. Naz Reid is a down low.
Yes,
but I think in this matchup, that at the end of the day, the factor becomes a guy like Cam Reddish that can really hit shots. Give me Duke in a close one, like 2 or 3 points. Duke moves on to the Final Four.
Good.
I got Duke LSU as well. You got Zion, you got RJ, you got Cam Reddish. You may be able to stop one. You might be able to stop two. You sure as hell ain't gonna stop all three. Duke marches to the Final Four, not easily, but more than 5.
I had Duke versus Louisville in the Elite Eight, the rematch. The rematch. First game didn't go Louisville's way. Louisville's the only team this season with Zion on the floor, with Zion and all Duke's healthy, to have Duke down 20 points or more. And they faltered, and Duke came back and won. Duke's going to win here again in a close game. It's going to be a hell of a game. But Zion's the factor. He's playing so well right now on his return of injury. So Duke moving into the Final Four.
So we all three, it's a clean sweep. We all have Duke winning the South or the East region, becoming your first team of 4 in the Final Four. With that being said, we are going to take a quick pause for the cause, and when we come back, we will hit you with the West. Does Gonzaga make it out? We'll tell you on the other side.
We got a game plan and we put it in a bag. We tryna build fans, y'all a game that respect. And not the rubber bands, yeah I know it sounds crazy, but we ain't tryna get rich, homie, yeah you know it.
Tryna live the good life, living the dream without a care in the world. I know it takes time, but I'm ready for the things I deserve. Gotta stop doing this for you, gotta do it for me. Once I know what I'm worth, I can do this. I can do it for free. I'm tryna live the good life. I'm tryna live the good life.
Yeah, first thing when we wake up. We start trying to think of another song that'll make you bob your head and smile and say, man, this song's a banger. But it's easier said than done, especially when you're alone with the funds and working your butt off producing this music you're doing because it's what you love. And all you want is a buzz, eventually getting your break in the club and rocking the mic for the people and shit with the shit. We got a game plan and we put it in a bag. We tryna build fans, y'all a game that respect. And not the rubber bands, yeah I know it sounds crazy, but we ain't tryna get rich, homie, yeah you know it.
Tryna live the good life, living the dream without a care in the world. I know it takes time, but I'm ready for the things I deserve. Gotta stop doing this for you, gotta do it for me. Once I know what I'm worth, I can do this. I can do it for free. I'm tryna live the good life. I'm tryna live the good life.
Yeah, first thing when we wake up. We start trying to think of another song that'll make you bob your head and smile and say, man, this song's a banger. But it's easier said than done, especially when you're alone with the funds and working your butt off producing this music you're doing because it's what you love. And all you want is a buzz, eventually getting your break in the club.
We're back, fellas. Coming to you to the west side. You know,
West side.
we got the Zags coming in at our number 1 seed. Where are we at? Oh, I'm up here. That's where I'm at. Zags playing in. Lord, I can't remember who they're. Fairleigh Dickinson. And Perry View.
Yep.
You know, just for me, the Zags 30-3, Hachimura and all of them, just too much. Coming out with a bang for the top of the bracket, Zags. Go ahead, somebody go on. It's too easy.
Yeah, it's too easy. I got the Zags. I think the offense firepower is too easy or too good for whoever in the playing game. So Zags.
Sweet. Gonzaga. The only funny thing about this is when I was filling out the bracket, I was running out of room for the play-in games. So I abbreviated Fairleigh Dickinson to Fair Dick. That's the only fun thing about that.
Fair
Gonzaga rolls in that one.
Next up, we got number 8 versus number 9, Syracuse, Baylor. You know, we got 2-3, 3-2, 2-3 zone, whatever you want to call it. The mixture of it, too, against Baylor, who's 19-13. It's kind of rough. 20-13 for Syracuse, too, but they've got some big wins on their resume. You know, looking at this, you got Tyus Battle for Syracuse, 17.2 points per game. On the flip side, Baylor leading their way is Tristan Clark, 14.6. I like Syracuse coming out of this one. I think the zone's too much of a matchup nightmare for Baylor. I got Syracuse.
I like the Qs as well, but I don't know. Battle, he was injured. I don't know if he's still injured or not.
I think he's coming back. I think I just read yesterday that he should be back in time for the tournament.
Well, either way, if he's injured, if he's not injured, I like the Qs winning. Like you said, the 2-3 zones, difficult to play against. And plus, they got NBA level talent. So, just Qs moving on.
Even if they don't have Battle, they still have Frank Howard. They have, I can never think of the third dude's name, but they're all three NBA level talent. Zone affects Baylor. Baylor doesn't shoot the ball that well. Give me Syracuse in that one. Ooh, that'd be a fun matchup, round two.
The matchup. I got you. Sorry. I'm just gonna keep on rolling. The matchup that literally made me hop out of my chair. It's not because of the teams. It is because of the two headline players. Our 5 versus 12. Number 5 Marquette against number 12 Murray State. If you don't know who Murray State has, we're about to find out. You got Ja Morant. One of the guys in the last 20 years that's done this has averaged almost 25 points a game and 10 assists. I'm getting so excited, I'm getting tongue-tied. And then on the flip side, you got Marquette. You got Marcus Howard, one of Peyton's little buddies over here, averages 25 points a game, and he can still dish it out too. He averages 4 assists. This is the 5-12 matchup that the committee was sitting around and it goes, watch this. I'm going to turn this place upside down. And I said that there was going to be a 5-12 that I have an upset with. I got this one. I got Murray State beat Marquette solely on the fact that Ja Morant is too tough and that Marquette's been playing too crappy here lately. Murray State, boys. The Racers running right past Marquette.
Josh, you go. I'll go last.
Well, my Lord. You have Marcus Howard, who was on our all-fire team. He's our all-heating-up team. And you had Ja Morant was on our All-Americans list.
He's on every list.
You have the premier point guard matchup that you could probably get in this tournament, at least in this first round.
One, definitely.
Ja Morant is number 2 NBA prospect right now. And some say if the Suns end up with the number 1 pick, he might go number 1 because they need a point guard. But either way, Ja Morant is a handful. Marcus Howard can get going. They're going at each other. You know it. Holy hell. I'm with Cook. Give me Murray State and the Racers. Marquette has hit if they would be on our sinking ships right now, give me the Racers in the 12-5.
Oh, my Lord. What a matchup. This is going to be a scoring battle between those top point guards, Marcus Howard and Ja Morant. And Cook, when you said that you jumped out of your seat when you seen this, I literally chanted or said, holy hell, when I seen that. Because I knew how good this game's going to be. Now, Ja Morant, top-level player, top 3 mock draft right now. Second, actually. Marcus Howard, not really playing that well right now. Marquette's on a little bit of a losing streak. Didn't play that well in the Big East tournament. I like Murray State. And what's the nickname? The Racers?
The Racers, yeah, bro.
The Racers are running wild, baby.
So we went clean sweep for the 12 there.
Yes. Our next one, we got the number 4 Florida State Seminoles. I see you, Nick Vincent. Number 13, Vermont. I've actually got to watch Vermont play against Kansas this year, and they are not a slouch. These kids come to play. They're led by a guy named Anthony Lamb, averages 21.4 points a game. Kid can straight up ball. Florida State, I'm not even going to try to remember to pronounce this kid's name.
Fiondu
Kabengele. Honorable mention all name. But this was a tough pick for me. I looked at this, and I was like, man, I almost put out a quarter and flipped it. But I'm going to go ahead and go with the Seminoles of Florida State to get past Vermont in a tight one.
You said Vermont did play Kansas, and before that they played Louisville, so I got to see them play as well, and lost both games. But I like Florida State in this one.
If you don't know Anthony Lamb, Tyler alluded to him. Anthony Lamb is he doesn't look like a dude that could go scoring because he's got a little. I don't know if it's weight, but he's not like trim and fit like everybody. He's got some size to him.
Yeah.
But he can score the basketball. You watch him play in the American East Championship against the UMBC and watch him play Kansas, watch him play Louisville a few other times throughout the year. The kid can go. Vermont's been really good the last 4, 5, 6 seasons, but I just don't think it's enough. Florida State, even in the loss to Duke's, playing well. Florida State's defense is nasty. Long, athletic guys. Give me the Noles on that one.
Our next matchup, we got Buffalo. Overall, they're 31-3. We've been talking about these guys all year. I have personally. I know the rest of us have too. They got C.J. Mashburn averaging 18.3, and Nick Perkins on our all-heating up team. Came off the bench, now starting as a senior, averaging 10.5 and 7.3 rebounds. They're playing in the play-in game against the 11 seeds, Arizona State and St. John's. I really don't care who wins that game. I really like Buffalo against either one of these teams. I'm taking Buffalo out of this.
Yeah, no matter if St. John's wins or Arizona State wins, I like Buffalo in this too.
I'm the same way. We went Buffalo across the board. It's nice to give some respect to a mid-major team. They have the most wins in MAC history, the highest seed in MAC history.
Oh, yeah.
6 seed, 31 wins overall. They're just a really good, solid team. They have tournament experience. A lot of these guys from last year where they smashed Arizona and gave Kentucky a good game in the second round. I like Buffalo as well. I do think it'd be interesting, the Arizona State-St. John's matchup, though, because St. John's led by an absolute scorer himself, Shamari Pons, and Arizona State's got players, Zylan Cheatham, guys like that. But it doesn't. I'm with Cook. It doesn't matter. Give me Buffalo.
Yep. Glad we got that sweep. Next up, we got the Red Raiders, Texas Tech, a 3 seed against Northern Kentucky, the 14 seed. They got Jared Culver. Leads them in points, rebounds, and assists. Northern Kentucky has a player named Drew McDonald. He's a pretty good guard. 19.1 points and 9.5 rebounds. Kid plays pretty well for these guys. It ain't going to be enough.
No.
I'm really high on the Raiders. They're one of my few teams that I thought that can make a Final Four team or Final Four run. It's going to happen this game. They're going to walk right past Northern Kentucky. Texas Tech for the win.
Watch out for Texas Tech in the tournament time. Well, in tournament, because I like their defense. Best defense in the nation, according to KeenPom. They're number 1 in defensive efficiency. Backed by Jared Culver, one of my favorite players in the nation right now. I'm so high on him right now. And Big 12 Player of the Year. He won my, last week we did awards, he won my Jordan Award. I think he's really good.
Same here.
And same thing, with you. And I like Texas Tech in this one.
Yeah, give me Texas Tech. I do think Northern Kentucky. I've actually watched them 3 or 4 times throughout the year. And give me Texas Tech. Like I said, the north of Northern Kentucky can make it interesting. Peyton alluded to it, Texas Tech, number 1 overall defense, according to KenPom. And you got a superstar in Jarrett Culver. And in my opinion, remember I gave Chris Beard the Coach of the Year?
Yep.
Texas Tech coach. Give me the Red Raiders. I've got something crazy in store for Texas Tech, a little foreshadowing.
Right on. Another interesting matchup that stuck out to me is the 7-10 matchup between Nevada and Florida. Now, Nevada's coming here. They're hot. They've talked about them all year. Caleb Martin and Kobe Martin, they're led by these guys. They're tough. And then on the flip side of Florida, man, these guys, they come to play. I mean, they've lost 15 games. Man, these guys have won some tough ones too. And they play teams tough. So this was another coin flip type game for me. After watching both these teams a handful of times this year, I went with my gut feeling on this. I think Nevada comes out on this one.
Let me take this one.
All right. I think
Florida, you're right. Say. Florida has 15 losses, but anybody who's watched Florida in the last month, it's a completely different ball club. They're led by a couple freshmen, mix in with some seniors. Andrew Nimhard, the freshman guard, is playing as well as almost anybody right now. Florida's shooting the ball with a lot of confidence. If a foul is called in the Auburn game, they're playing in the SEC championship possibly against Tennessee instead of Auburn. I think Nevada got screwed in the seedings. Now, Nevada's not played well the last couple weeks. They almost lost in the quarterfinals of their conference tournament to Boise State.
Boise State, we watched that.
They did lose to San Diego State. Mm-hmm. They've not played well, but still, man, to have that many wins – they were in the top 5 at one point in the season. To be a 7 seed, they really, I think, disrespected Nevada. And I think it's going to hurt them. I do. I think it's going to hurt them. I like the Gators in this one. I just think that Florida, especially, this is a matchup of 2 teams that's going to get up and down, shoot a lot of threes, and I think that favors Florida. Like I mentioned, your freshman guards are coming along. You've got senior guards who can shoot. At any time, they put 5 guys on the floor who can stretch the floor. Give me the Gators.
When we seen this matchup, and we seen Florida's a 10 seed, what did me and you say? we said that we liked Florida in this. We like Florida in this matchup, and I personally agree 100%. I like Florida winning this, even though Nevada is backed by their big three players, Jordan Caroline, Cody Martin, and Caleb Martin. I still like Florida in this one.
Yep.
Rounding up the bottom of this West bracket, guys, we got number 2 Michigan, 15 Montana. Michigan is led by Bradinkus. Does that say it right?
Close.
Brazdeikis.
Brazdeikis.
Man, I'll just take that as a win.
It's
I'll
close
take it.
enough. There you go. Good job.
They're led by I mean, I've talked on Michigan. I like that. I like Poole a lot. I mean, I like their style of play. You know, outside of the Michigan State games, these guys have been absolutely wonderful to watch. Penn State, whatever. You know, you have some falters here. Michigan is just too tough. I mean, Montana's got this Jamar Okoye or whatever his name. I'm terrible with names. I'm going to work on it. I promise.
We've got him hooked on phonics coming.
But regardless, I can say this name right. Michigan. Michigan gets past Montana.
Hail to the victors.
Yes, sir.
So, Tyler, second round matchups. We got some interesting ones right here.
Yeah, for me, kicking this off, we're in the West. Man, I can't read my own handwriting. I had Gonzaga playing against Syracuse in this. You know, I mentioned the zone for Syracuse being dangerous. Man, the Zags are too long and too lanky and can shoot the ball too well. I think they're going to beat them from outside over the top. I think the Zags beat the Cuse, roll on to the Elite Eight.
It's a fun matchup.
Yeah, I got Gonzaga taking on Syracuse as well. Even though Syracuse has that 2-3 zone and they're backed by NBA level talent with Tyrus Battle and etc. I still think Zags, they're the number 1 offensive team according to King Palm. I just think the offense is too much, and Ward Hachimura is going to be a great player for this game. I like Gonzaga.
Sound the alarms. This is where the first number 1 seed goes down.
Oh, my.
At least it ain't in the first round, boys.
Syracuse, everybody knows that 2-3 zone, and Gonzaga is a high-powered offense. But I'll give you one example, and I know this is back in December. Gonzaga took on Washington. Washington runs the same type of 2-3 zone. Washington's a little bit more aggressive out of theirs than Syracuse, but Syracuse has more pros and better players. Gonzaga had to have pretty much a last-second Roy Hachimura shot to beat Washington. Syracuse's zone, I just alluded to, is better, and you only get a day to prepare for it. Give me Syracuse.
Tough.
I've said it for a month now that Syracuse is one of the teams. Doesn't matter where they're at because of their zone, because they have pros. They are a hard out. This is where the first number 1 seed falls victim. Give me the Cuse in the Sweet 16.
Next up for me, guys, I got Murray State. I think we swept that one, correct?
Yeah, I think we all have here Murray State, Florida State.
Murray State,
Yeah.
Florida State. John Morant alluded to it. I'm going to win a national championship. Brakes are hit here. They're pumped. Florida State, too big, too strong, too fast. I got Florida State walking past Murray State to play Gonzaga in the Sweet 16.
I'll just go ahead and say it. I agree. Everything you just said, I agree. Florida State.
You know, this isn't ESPN, this isn't college football, but let me get my Lee Corso impression going on here. Not so fast, my friend. I have Murray State defeating Florida State. One reason only. Ja Morant. He's going to be the difference maker in this game. He's going to hit shots and really put the pressure on Florida State. I got Murray State winning.
To each their own, I guess, here. But we got, coming up for me next, Buffalo versus Texas Tech.
I have the same thing.
Yep.
You
same.
as well?
Yep.
So across the board, too easy. CJ Mashburn, I'm sorry. I've talked about you all year. Nick Perkins.
Nick
Perkins. I touched
Perkins.
on you a little bit. But you're no Culver. You're no Jared Culver. You're no Texas Tech defense. Texas Tech, slide them on in.
Same thing with me.
Again, I agree wholeheartedly. Texas Tech.
We got the last matchup of round of 32 in the West. I have Nevada versus Michigan.
Me and Josh has Florida versus Michigan, correct?
Well, I'm pretty sure we're all going to pick the same one on this one regardless.
Yeah.
Nevada, you don't have enough to keep up with these guys. The Wolverines walk past these guys to the Sweet 16 to play Texas Tech for me.
As good as Florida's playing right now, Michigan, I mentioned Texas Tech's number 1 defense. Michigan's right there at number 2, so I like Michigan.
I like Michigan. I think Florida can make it interesting because they shoot the ball so well. But clean sweep, Michigan on to the Sweet 16.
Sweet 16, the first matchup for us here, guys, is Gonzaga versus Florida State. This is a tough one. This was another coin flip. pick the longest hair out of your head type thing. But I'm going to go with the Zags. They're just, the Hachimura dude, there's just something about this kid that I love to watch, and I want to keep watching it. He's just a baller. I don't care. Just keep on rolling, Zags. I got Zags rolling on to the Elite Eight.
I have Gonzaga taking on Murray State. And this was a tough one, honestly. I mean, it really was. I'm not joking. I'm just not really that high on Gonzaga, I guess. I like Murray State winning this game.
God, I'm getting under the table.
You say that.
He is
You
rolling.
say that.
He is rolling
I
that John
could be
Morant
totally wrong.
train.
You say that, but we've said it before. You only need one superstar level player to really make it far in the tournament. And John Morant's there.
I mean, he really is. But see, I didn't have Gonzaga. I have Syracuse and Florida State in this matchup. Defensive matchup, 2-3 zone against a stout man-to-man. I just like the way Florida State's been playing. These are ACC foes, met a couple times this year already. Give me the Noles back in the Elite Eight. They made the Elite Eight last year. Give me the Noles again.
Boys, we're mixing it up now.
Yeah.
Now these are just our predictions. You know, we're not trying to tell you to go out there and throw some money down.
But
on
we
this.
are telling you we're the experts and screw ESPN and them.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to tell you right now, these two are wrong, and I'm right on this. Gonzaga versus Texas Tech. We got.
Well, you still got to do Texas Tech and Michigan.
Oh, I jumped over this crap.
you
See, I'm too
jumped over it.
excited.
Come on,
Look, man, it's madness, okay? It's madness. Oh, either way. Texas Tech versus Michigan. Red Raiders defense, too much. They're just going to walk right past Michigan, I believe. Not walk past them. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. I was thinking of something else. I have the Red Raiders getting past Michigan in a tough defensive battle.
Texas Tech versus Michigan. Number 1 defense versus number 2. This is going to be a first one to 60 wins. And I like Texas Tech. Why? Jared Culver's why.
I wanted my brain, I don't know how I want to put it. Not my heart, because I'm not emotionally invested in either of these teams. But there's a part of my brain that says Michigan because, yes, 1-2 defense, but I think Michigan has more firepower. But I think there's something about this Texas Tech team, the grit and the toughness of that Chris Beard is rubbing off of them. They have a superstar in Jarrett Culver. I like Texas Tech in a close one to set up an Elite Eight matchup between Florida State and Texas Tech on my side.
Yep. So we're going to continue to differ on some things here. I got Gonzaga still in this. Elite Eight matchup against Texas Tech. Boy, the defense is just still there. Hachimura gets shut down. I got Texas Tech moving on to the Final Four.
First ever
to play against the Dukies.
I have Texas Tech taking on Murray State. As high as I am on Murray State, and more importantly, John Morant, I think number 1 defense is too tough for Murray State to overpass. I like Texas Tech moving in the Final Four.
I was afraid you was going to say Murray State for a second. I'm
sorry,
good
no,
Lord.
I can't.
No, it's a clean sweep. We've all got the Red Raiders, surprisingly. We're all really high on the Red Raiders.
Yeah, Culver and defense.
Texas Tech, it's Lubbock, dancing in the streets once they make the Final Four. You're headed to Minneapolis. So we have one side, the left side of the Final Four set. 32 of the games, first round, all that, whatever. 32 teams, however you want to look at it. It's set and done. The East and the West are done. We have Duke and Texas Tech. We've both agreed on, all 3 of us agreed on them. Find out who we pick for the South coming up.
We got a game plan and we put it in a bag. We try to build fans, y'all a game that respect. And not the rubber bands, yeah, I know it sounds crazy. But we ain't trying to get rich, homie, yeah, you know it.
Tryna live the good life, living the dream without a care in the world. I know it takes time, but I'm ready for the things I deserve. Gotta stop doing this for you, gotta do it for me. Once I know what I'm worth, I can do this. I can do it for free. I'm tryna live the good life. I'm tryna live the good life.
Yeah, first thing when we wake up. We start trying to think of another song that'll make you bob your head and smile and say, man, this song's a banger. But it's easier said than done, especially when you're alone the funds and working your butt off producing this music you're doing because it's what you love. And all you want is a buzz, eventually getting your break in the club and rocking the mic for the people and shivering the shivery. We got a game plan and we put it in a bag. We tryna build fans, y'all a game that respect. And not the rubber bands, yeah, I know it sounds crazy. But we ain't tryna get rich, homie, yeah, you know it.
Hey, and we're back. Now, we've already mentioned, we already did the East region, we did the West. Now it's time to go to the South.
The dirty South.
The dirty South, with the number 1 seed Virginia taking on number 16 seed Gardner-Webb.
Screw Gardner-Webb. You knocked out Campbell. Screw you.
Ouch.
You know what? They're going to knock off Virginia. Nah, I'm playing. I'm so playing.
Could you imagine Virginia 2 years in a row?
Pack it up, boys. I'd pack it up.
Done.
I would just say Virginia's not allowed to be in the top 25 for the next 5 years. Ever.
So funny. I'm pretty sure we're all going to sweep this. I got Virginia winning.
Yeah, clean for us, Virginia. Tyler, I know this is
You
your
ain't got to
second
say it.
team.
You know who I like.
So we got Virginia.
Roll it.
All right, next matchup, we got 8 seed Ole Miss taking on number 9 seed Oklahoma. Whew, I don't know. I mean, I picked Ole Miss, but it's a little difficult game to predict right there. I think it could be interesting. I got Ole Miss winning, though. Josh?
I've got Ole Miss as well. Kermit Davis has done a really good job first year at Ole Miss, getting them into the tournament again. Oklahoma presents the problems. Christian James, they've obviously showed that they can play with some top-tier teams, and they beat Kansas. They beat Kansas real bad. They've got some other good wins. I think they beat Texas Tech as well. I'd have to go back and look. But I think at the end of the day, Ole Miss, Stingy D, hit some threes at clutch times. Give me the running Rebel, or not running, but give me the Rebels.
Good.
Agree. Across the board, Ole Miss. I don't see anything that Oklahoma could do to stop Ole Miss. I watched Ole Miss a couple good times, and they just pose too much of a threat to Oklahoma. Ole Miss.
All right. Next up, number 5 seed Wisconsin takes on number 12 seed Oregon. Now, I know the experts, so-called experts, they're interested in this matchup because Oregon's on a 6-game winning streak. They won the Pac-12 tourney.
Which ain't saying much.
Which is not saying much either. But I think Ethan Happ and Wisconsin's going to get it done.
I think you're right. I went Wisconsin. No, I think it's fool's gold right now with Oregon. They're playing well. Don't want to take that away from 6 games in a row, win the Pac-12. Yeah. But I think it's fool's gold considering where they're playing at. Give me Wisconsin.
Tyler?
Wisconsin playing the best conference in the league right now, in the nation.
In the league.
Ethan Happ too much. Wisconsin.
Number 4 seed Kansas State takes on number 13 seed UC Irvine. Kansas State's best player, Dean Wade, he's currently injured. He's not going to be able to. He's out for the season, right?
He's done.
He's out for the
Walking
season.
with the boot.
That's tough.
Such a bad break for him, man.
Terrible.
He
just came back off injury not too long ago as well.
Yeah.
That's a tough loss for Kansas State and Josh's favorite coach, Bruce Weber. And I like Kansas State winning this. Even though they lost their best player, I think they're a pretty good team, and they're going to get this done.
UC Irvine, the elite defensive crew from UC Irvine's won 16 games in a row to earn a spot at the dance, fueled by one of the nation's best defensive field goal percentages. They'll look to dictate games with a slow, methodical style when they take on their earlier round opponent, Kansas State. They've won 16 games in a row, as I've mentioned. 30 wins on the year. Number 1 in 2-point defense percentage. Teams are only shooting 40.6%, which you think 2-pointers, that's basically around the rim. You're not scoring because of how they affect your shots. They're 7th in the nation in bench minutes. I mean, 41.8% bench. Basically, they have a deep bench and they play them and they all contribute. Sound the alarms. UC Irvine upsets Kansas State and sends the co-Big 12 champions home after one round.
Not surprised
Give
by that.
me UC Irvine 13/4.
Pretty cool stuff. I don't agree.
Simple as that.
Kansas State, they've done it without Wade before. I mean, it's hard losing a guy
That's
like
true,
him.
yeah.
But they'll continue to play well. I think they at least get past this first round against UC Irvine. Like you touched on, though, their defense is nothing to be slept on. Kansas State is one of the worst offensive teams in the conference.
Yeah,
but what made up for
right.
it was their defensive paralysis.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got 2 teams that are doing that. Now it just comes down to who can do it better. UC Irvine has the deep bench, like you mentioned. But I think Kansas State finds a way to squeak past this, give Wade a little bit more time on the bench.
On to the next matchup. We got 6 seed Villanova taking on the 11 seed St. Mary's.
The Gales of St. Mary's.
The Gale. That's their nickname?
The Gales, yeah.
Yeah. Villanova won the Big East Tournament Championship. St. Mary's upsetted Gonzaga. And did they win that tourney? They won the
that's how
West
they
Coast
upset
Conference,
them.
They
right?
beat up Gonzaga, really. I mean,
Yeah.
Smacked them around a little bit.
Yeah, it was tough, good win for St. Mary's. But this ain't the same Nova team as last year. I mean, they have Pascal on their team and the other dude who I cannot think of his name, but I know he can shoot the ball really well. He's number
Jordan
2,
Ford.
I think. Who?
Jordan Ford.
yeah, Is it Forte, Ford, something like that?
You know my names. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
spelled Ford like the truck, so we'll go
Yeah.
with that.
It's something like that. But they're back with those 2 players. And obviously, Jay Wright is a great coach, won 2 of the last 3 championships. I like Villanova winning this.
Keep it short and sweet. Give me Villanova to get by St. Mary's. I just think St. Mary's has been on a good run, but it ends now because I think Villanova has hit their stride a little bit.
Good.
I agree. And over across the board, St. Mary's the next type of mid-major that's on the up and up with Gonzaga. You know, they're getting better players, but it ain't happening yet. The defending champions walk on.
Number 3 seed Purdue Boilermakers take on number 14 seed Old Dominion. This is an interesting matchup. Even though Purdue got put out early in the Big Ten tournament, and you know how Purdue is in the NCAA tournament, they're not very good. They got Carson Edwards, not really playing the best. I still think Purdue's going to at least win this. It's going to be a close game, but they're going to squeak by Old Dominion.
Purdue hasn't made a Final Four since 1980.
Oh, my Lord.
They've had some really good teams. They've made a couple of Elite Eights, had some really good teams that just faltered. I think they're deserving of a 3. I think they've had a kind of a year that's deserving of a 3.
100%.
Old Dominion, the Monarchs, are among the best defensive teams in the nation, leading Conference USA in scoring defense and rebounding margin. They play a slow, methodical style with the ball, but do have a pair of exciting players on offense. B.J. Stith and Ahmad Caver are seniors who led the team in scoring and will look to inspire their teammates to a big win or 2 in the early rounds. 7th in 2-point percentage defense themselves. 17th in block percentage. 14.1% of their defensive possessions end in a block. They have wins over tournament teams. VCU at home, at Syracuse. Purdue got a tough matchup here. This is not easy if you're a Purdue fan. I mean, 14, Old Dominion could have easily been one of those 12, 11, even a 10 seed potentially. It doesn't have their record here. Old
26 and
Dominion
8.
will give Purdue a basketball game. They will. If Carson Edwards doesn't shoot well, he can't afford in this tournament to have one of those nights where he goes 3 for 30.
No. Oh, my Lord.
He does need help. Even if he scores 40, he needs help. I do like Purdue squeaking by this, but I'm telling you, this could be an upset special. Keep an eye out on this one when the game's played. The Monarchs are really good and can get Purdue, but I do have Purdue sneaking by.
I'm glad you touched on all that because that was some stuff that I had written down as well. Old Dominion is not a team to be slept on. Defensive prowess everywhere. These guys get after it, and they're 2 senior guards. But I don't think that they can slow down Carson Edwards on this day. Carson, was he a senior?
Junior.
You know, it's maybe his last year. You never know. He's got something to prove. You know, he hasn't been playing well. So I think this is a turnaround game for Carson. 25 points plus. He's averaging 23, so it's not out of reach.
No.
25 points. Purdue wins 10 plus.
I'm glad I'm not the only one, though. I'm telling you, Old Dominion can absolutely get Purdue in this one.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I said it's going to be a close game, but I see Purdue winning. Next matchup, we got number 7 seed Cincinnati taking on number 10 seed Iowa Hawkeyes. Iowa backed by star player Tyler Cook. There you go.
I don't play for Iowa. I am a anchor for ECB.
Backed by Tyler Cook, obviously. And Cincinnati defeated Houston in the American Championship.
Yeah.
Okay, I had to think. Some of those conferences I keep forgetting. But the American Championship, which you called, by the way.
Thank you.
Welcome. I like Iowa.
What in the hell are you doing? You already had it written out. What the hell was you thinking
I'm
about?
sorry, I had to find it. I had to find it.
Why are you sitting there thinking about it?
Well, I had to find it.
He had a me moment.
Iowa's been, we've talked about them all year. Iowa's 2 up and down. Cincinnati's playing the best that they've played all year. They finally got around to being a defensive juggernaut that Mick Cronin teams are known for. I just think they will make this game in the mud, and at the end of the day, the Bearcats win. It'll probably be close, but not exciting. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It'll be one of those games that'll be like 60-58, and you'll be like, ugh.
Kind of boring.
But
slow
Cincinnati
pace.
wins.
Good.
Behind Jaron Cumberland's 18.8 points a game, Cincinnati takes this one.
All right. To end this, in the South region,
We all
got
got the same one. I guarantee it on this one.
Tennessee versus Colgate. 2 seed versus 15. I mean, is there a reason Colgate wins this? No, not in my opinion. Tennessee wins by 30.
Tennessee big.
Tennessee gets away with like 16 hook and holds past Colgate, 47-point victory.
Moving into round 2. For me, I got Virginia taking on Ole Miss.
Same
you
here.
guys. Cook, is that you? Virginia, Ole Miss? I think Virginia's too much. Defense, Kyle Guy is a really good player. I like Virginia in this.
Virginia's, you said it, too much. Both sides of the ball, Virginia big.
Virginia.
Next up, we got Wisconsin, or at least for me, Wisconsin taking on Kansas State.
Yep.
You?
Nope.
Okay. Wisconsin, backed up by Ethan Happ. I think he's a very good player. One of the best centers, if you call him a center. He's listed as a power forward, but
He's a center.
He's a center
He's one of the
anymore.
last big men to play back to the basket.
yeah, he averages, I think, a double-double per game. I like Wisconsin in this.
I got Wisconsin versus Kansas State as well. You know, Ethan Happ is too much. Without Wade there, I don't think they can stop him. Wisconsin gets past the Wildcats.
Sound that alarm again, fellas, because UC Irvine going Sweet 16
that's right.
over Wisconsin. Ethan Happ's good. Wisconsin's up and down. Wisconsin lost to Indiana, too. Not good.
They suck.
It's a joke, all you people. It's a joke. You all know you had a bad year. UC Irvine, I think this team is good enough defensively and everything else I'd mentioned before. And this is where it comes in, that 2-point percentage, number one in the nation. Ethan Happ's back to the basket. Where's he get 95% of his buckets?
In the paint.
And he's a terrible free throw shooter. He only shoots like 40-some
45, yeah, I checked
So
earlier.
if he fouls him,
He's got that Shaq.
he's
Shaq.
give me UC Irvine into the Sweet 16 to play Virginia.
No surprise. I mean, I can see it happening. It's March Madness. Anything can happen. Next up, for me,
These
I
two will
got
be fun.
Villanova versus Purdue. I'm sure we all have that.
We all have the same bottom part here for the second round.
All right, Villanova versus Purdue. It's going to be an interesting game. Me personally, Carson Edwards, I think he's a selfish player. I think he tries to do too much sometimes. He forces a lot of threes, and sometimes he hits, sometimes he doesn't. But I like Villanova winning this.
I like Purdue. I think it'll be up and down, but I think at the end of the day, Purdue's defense is what wins them games right now. In situations like this, even though Villanova's got the pedigree, they've been here, done that. Give me Purdue. I think this is their year to make a little run. Give me the Boilermakers playing in Louisville in the Sweet 16.
Good.
Purdue versus Nova. Mike Sneed, JRO, how much you like me? We're going Purdue, boys. They're going to slip past. They're going to knock out the defending champions. Carson Edwards, he has another good game. What's that big, scrawny beanpole
I have
over
no
the back
clue.
tip end guy?
He's right there, man.
Regardless.
Not Haas.
Regardless, JR, you can text me later and tell me about it. But I got Purdue in this. I don't see it happening for Nova. I think their trying to defend the ship ends there.
One quick thing about Purdue and Carson Edwards. I was talking about, you mentioned JLO. I was talking to him Saturday when we was on the way to Oasis. And he told me that Carson Edwards has been complaining about having back spasms or back pains. And to me, and him agreed on it, we think it's a weak-ass excuse because he's not playing well.
It could be.
When you got 9 other people on your back, it's kind of hard not to have spasms
True.
That is
true. That's very true.
in a figurative sense.
I still go Purdue.
Purdue.
Okay.
Boiler
Difference
up on 'em,
opinion.
boys. And I'll never say that again.
Next up, I have the Iowa Hawkeyes taking on 2C Tennessee Volunteers. Tennessee. Tennessee. Come
Me
on.
and Cook's got Cincinnati and Tennessee. Cincinnati, we've mentioned, really good defensively. Rebounds the ball okay, but they can't score really outside of Cumberland. What's it, Cumberland? Jaron Cumberland?
Jaron Cumberland.
Tennessee's too big, too deep, too talented, too into everything. Grant Williams will flip, flop, and fly. As Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, would say, baby. He'd flip, flop, and fly about 7 times this game or more. But give me the Admiral and give me Tennessee over Cincinnati.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Tennessee's going to hook right past Cincinnati.
All right.
Sweet 16 would be
Sweet
fun with these
16.
teams in Louisville.
For me, I have Virginia taking on Wisconsin. And this is where the number 1 seed Virginia loses. I am not high on Virginia at all. I don't think that style can work in the tournament. Proved to me one time it has. I like Wisconsin winning. I think Ethan Happ's the difference maker. He's going to get into that paint, and he's going to dominate, and nobody, Jack Salt, is not going to be able to contain him or stop him. Wisconsin.
Wait, are you talking about that style that Louisville plays on defense? The exact same pack line defense that they play, that you have them in the Elite 8?
They're more aggressive than theirs.
What?
More aggressive.
Huh?
Hit the door.
And Virginia's
You're on
better
timeout.
offensively.
Hold on. You agreed with me on this, that Louisville's more aggressive in their pack line D.
They are, but to say they're better, nobody
I know,
does
hold
the
on,
pack
hold on.
line better than Virginia.
I didn't say they were
And
better.
you got a matchup, and that's a fair. I mean, I get it. Anything happens. Wisconsin, I don't have it because I have UC Irvine, but you have Virginia and Wisconsin. It's going to be a game stuck in the mud, and when it's a game stuck in the mud, give me 3-point shooters. Virginia would smack Wisconsin, but I don't have that. Virginia is going to smack up on UC Irvine. UC Irvine had a great run, Sweet 16. Your defense ain't enough. Virginia rolls you because you don't have the style of play like a UMBC to spread a team out like Virginia. Virginia on to the Elite 8.
I got the Virginia-Wisconsin matchup like Peyton. I don't have the outcome. Kyle Guy, Ty Jerome, and company walk right past Wisconsin. Ethan Happ's going to do his thing, but it's not going to be enough. These guys can just play too well. Virginia.
Man, I got some flack on that one.
I was
Yo,
just saying.
difference of opinion, I get it. But that's just me personally. And plus, I'm not a fan of Virginia, so whatever. Next up, for me, I got Villanova taking on Tennessee. Nova's a good team, or at least a decent team. Tennessee's better. Grant Williams, Admiral Schofield, Jordan Bone, you name it. Tennessee moves on.
See, me and Tyler's both got. Wait, did you pick Purdue over Nova? So
Yeah,
me
he
and him
picked
again's
Purdue.
got the same. We've got Purdue, Tennessee, and Louisville. Good. You talk about their fan bases. That would make that. That'd be fun.
Yeah, it's close for both sides.
Closer drive for Purdue, but you know what? Tennessee.
It's
close
almost
drive too.
It's pretty close.
Well, you know
boys.
what? Think about it. It's probably about even.
It's pretty
Consider
close.
it.
Maybe 20 minutes difference.
Purdue plays good defense. Purdue's got a superstar, but this is where that rule of superstar ends because Tennessee is just too big, too much, too everything. The Vols probably about 5 or 6 over the Boilermakers.
You said it. Tennessee's too physically imposing. They're just bigger and stronger than Purdue. Jordan Bone, slow down Carson Edwards.
Yeah.
Not handedly, but he will slow that boy down. If it comes down to Purdue versus Tennessee, I got Tennessee all the way over this.
Elite 8 time. I have Wisconsin taking on Tennessee. And as good as Ethan Happ is, he's not as good as Grant Williams, in my opinion at least. And he don't have the firepower of Admiral Schofield there with him or Jordan Bone. I got Tennessee moving on to the Final Four.
Me and Tyler has both got a hell of a matchup in this Elite 8. Chance on the Final Four. I'm glued to my TV set watching Virginia and Tennessee play. Holy hell. Both teams good defensively. Both teams good offensively. Tennessee's deeper than Virginia. Virginia shoots the 3 a little bit better than Tennessee. I think the end of this game would come down to who wins the backboard, and Tennessee dominates Virginia on the glass. You guys, we've mentioned them, Schofield. You've got Grant Williams, Jordan Bone. The Turner kid goes to the backboard. That Fulkerson kid, the big white kid, he's a screener, a rebounder, and a defender.
A little bit of everything besides shooting.
The game's won on the
Utility
backboard.
man.
Yeah.
Give me the Volunteers to go to the Final Four.
Good.
We're all mixing up here, boys. Virginia versus Tennessee, like you mentioned, is probably going to be one of the premier matchups to see in this tournament. You got Virginia's pack line D against Tennessee's just bullheadedness. They're just so physically imposing. But whenever you talk about rebounds, you got to miss shots. And Virginia can put the ball in the hole. I see Virginia coming out of this coming down to the final play. Virginia getting a pick and pop or, a little screen and roll, something. We're going to see buzzer beaters before this, but I think this is going to be an instant classic if it comes down to this game. Instant classic. Mark my words. We laughed at him for the Duke-Louisville game, and that was nuts.
Yeah.
So we're going to try and go 2 for 2 for stuff like this.
All right, I'm down.
But I have Virginia walking past Tennessee, like last second play. So they're going to draw up something crazy, something smooth as silk, and they're going to win it.
Listen.
You can't go wrong, really, with this game. It really is a toss-up.
No, it's whatever
you get Virginia,
want.
Tennessee, it's a toss-up.
I really want to see that game. This bracket and my prediction is not by who I want to see. It's who I think is going to win. So, difference of opinion. I got Tennessee moving into the Final Four. And that's that for the
So far,
South.
we've got 3 of the 4. Coming up after the break, we move to the Midwest. And this, fellas, we all agree, we're soccer fans. This would be the group of death.
This is the region of doom.
Region of death.
The region of doom, region of death. This is the hardest bracket. We break it down for you in detail after this.
We got a game plan and we put it in a bag. We tryna build fans, y'all a game that respect. And not the rubber bands, yeah, I know it sounds crazy. But we ain't tryna get rich, homie, yeah, you know it.
Tryna live the good life, living the dream without a care in the world. I know it takes time, but I'm ready for the things I deserve. Gotta stop doing this for you, gotta do it for me. Once I know what I'm worth, I can do this. I can do it for free. I'm tryna live the good life. I'm tryna live the good life.
Yeah, first thing when we wake up, we start trying to think of another song that'll make you bob your head and smile and say, man, this song's a banger. But it's easier said than done, especially when you're alone with the funds and working your butt off producing this music you're doing because it's what you love. And all you want is a buzz, eventually getting your break in the club and rocking the mic for the people and shit with the shit.
Oh, what a rush. Since we mentioned the Region of Doom, I figured I'd shout out a little bit Legion of Doom from our Road Warriors from wrestling fame, Hawk and Animal, little play on there. But honest to God, if you look at all these regions and you don't look at the Midwest and say, my Lord, it's a killer's row, then I don't know what to tell you.
No. Yeah.
Looking at it, you have number 1 seed in the Midwest. Kind of controversial, kind of not. I mean, I think they deserve it, but the other teams I thought did too. Number 1 seed, North Carolina Tar Heels. Fresh off of losing to Duke, but been playing well here lately. North Carolina plays 16 seed Iona. Don't even think it's going to be close. Carolina probably drops 95 to 100 points. Sorry, Iona. Carolina rolls.
Same. Carolina rolls, baby.
Luke May goes for 30 plus, 15 rebounds again.
Oh, my Lord.
Over Iona.
This next matchup, 8-9, as we've said, 8-9s are always super hard. Utah State underrated good. 30 wins, I think, on the year.
30, yeah.
30
No,
wins.
26-8.
Oh, 26, okay. Well, winner of the
Mountain West.
the same conference Nevada's in. Winners of that. And playing 9 seed Washington. Washington, the Pac-12 regular season champs. The only real good team out of the Pac-12. Thibault is really good from Washington. Washington plays a 2-3 zone. Their coach used to coach at Syracuse forever under Boeheim. Obviously, he brings it. But like I said, Washington plays a more aggressive style. They're up there in the nation in steal percentage. I'll look that up here in just a second. But Washington, as close as it is, I think their zone's a factor. I think they hit more shots. Give me Washington in that matchup. I think it's a close one, though. Very close.
Okay, you have Washington, that 2-3 zone. You said it's more aggressive than Syracuse. I think it's going to be a tough matchup, but Utah State has a star player named Sam Merrill, however you say it.
Merle.
Real quick, Washington, number 3 in the nation block percentage, number 2 in the nation steal percentage, number 26 in the nation in 2-point percentage defense. Tell me that 2-3 is not nasty.
No wonder Isaiah Stewart committed to them. But,
number 4 in the nation in turnover percentage on defense. Teams turn the ball over against that zone too. I'm telling you, Washington is a handful.
Yeah, it's going to be a close game. Like I said, Sam Merrill, 21.2 points per game for Utah State. What else do you see? 4 rebounds per game, 4.2 assists per game, and he shoots 46.5% from field goal, 90% free throw shooter. He can hit some free throws now, and he shoots the 3-ball 37.8%. Utah State can spread them out, hit some shots against that zone. I see on here like 4 players who can shoot 35% or higher from 3. That's great for a team. I got Utah State winning.
Yeah, so does Ken Palm. Ken Palm has Utah State winning 68-66.
ECB is going 66.67% on this right here. Utah State. We talked about the Pac-12 sucking all year, and I do not disagree. They still suck. They don't have anybody worth the hell in there. Washington, you're okay, but you're playing the likes of Cal, which beats you. Utah State. Walking past it.
Fair enough.
There you go.
I'm moving down the bracket. 5-12 matchup. You got the Auburn Tigers, who we were really high on. SEC Conference tournament champions against the 12 seed New Mexico State. New Mexico State, 30 wins on the year. New Mexico State played Kansas throughout the year, only lost 63-60. New Mexico State, 8th in offensive rebound percentage, 36.8%, and 105th. I know it don't sound like a lot, but 105th in three-point percentage defense, 33.1, which is a factor because Auburn will throw the 3 up. They have 6 dudes pretty much that can shoot the 3. I've said it all year. There's not many backcourts in America better than Brown and Harper. You throw in a forward like Okiku who can shoot the 3 and attack the rim, and a NBA big type player and Austin Wiley down low.
Yep.
New Mexico State's going to keep it close. Auburn's too much. Give me the Tigers. Tyler, I'm going to let you go because we kind of messed the rotation. We've been going like this, so we'll throw to Kyler here.
We'll smooth the waters back out, boys. Don't worry about it. I believe behind Bryce Brown and Jared Harper of Auburn, they squeaked past New Mexico State. New Mexico State's had a hell of a year, 30-4. They got Terrell Brown leading the way, 17.3 points a game. But Auburn, they just got too many offensive weapons, and they're going to walk past New Mexico State.
I almost picked New Mexico State with the upset. I'm just not with it. New Mexico State's a balanced team. They're a balanced offensive team. They got like 4 players averaging double figures. Nobody averages more than 12 points per game. And I like Auburn in this.
Auburn, we mentioned it, and I know some people kind of laughed. Mentioned it at the early year, and here lately we mentioned, I think, even last week's podcast.
Yep, we did.
Auburn is a team with they got put in murder's row here, but they could still, with the talent, make the Final Four.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not easy, but they could. Moving down the bracket. With their worst season in 15 years. Now think about this, what I'm getting ready to say. As a 4 seed, this team's had their worst season in 15 years, and it's a 4 seed. It shows how dominant of a run Kansas has been on. Kansas is a 4, playing the 13th seed in Northeastern. The Huskies shoot the ball well, 39% from threes, 48% from the field. 46% of their shots come from behind the arc. 4 players have made at least 55 threes this season. They're 14th in the nation in three-point percentage. Like I said, 39%, 38.8 rounded up. A team that shoots a 3 that well will give anybody problems, especially Kansas, who's been shaky defensively. The good news for Kansas, they don't have to go play on the road. This is at a neutral site. The Jayhawks started to find their mojo a little bit in the Big 12 tournament. Iowa State was able to knock them off. I still like the Jayhawks here. Give me Kansas over Northeastern, but keep an eye on a team, like I said, 4 dudes from Northeastern have made at least 55 threes this season. That's stout. But give me the Jayhawks. I think at the end, Dedrick Lawson's too much.
This is a tough, dangerous matchup for Kansas. My bad. Go ahead.
He don't know the rotation.
I'm sorry.
Puff, puff, pass, Peyton. Come on now. we got number 4 Kansas, 13 Northeastern. Like you said, it's their worst on-paper season in 15 years. They did go undefeated at home, which was their 20th season at Allen Fieldhouse going undefeated. So tell me how that's bad. But theoretically, that is how it plays out. You've got 9 losses on the season, and you say that's bad. Over the course, that just shows the type of team this is. Now, on the flip side with Northeastern, they got this guy, I'm not even going to,
Vasa
Percusia, whatever, Shaja Petrulia's sister.
something like that.
Who averages 17.8 points a game. He shoots almost 50% from the field, and at the free throw line, he gets it done too, 84.3%. I'm super concerned about the three-point percentages that Josh threw out there about Northeastern, but they don't have any size. They don't have anybody that can slow down Dedrick Lawson, McCormack. Prison Mitch going to come in there and get him some points.
Prison Mitch.
Garrett
my boy.
attacks the rim too well. You got Dotson, who's been playing extremely well.
Yep.
Quentin Grimes is finding his rhythm.
Yep.
Ochai's been slowing down, but whenever you got the rest of the other people coming in, when Ochai was hot, everybody else was not. But it's getting a flip here. I got Kansas over Northeastern, 4-point game, tough one.
Is it my turn now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you mentioned Vasa Pusiska. I think that's how you say his name. His stat line, 17.8 points per game. Great free throw per shooter. And he also shoots 40.1% from three-point line. I'm looking at here on ESPN, Northeastern has 4 guys who shoots over 40% or higher from three-point. That's dangerous, but like you said, they ain't got no size. Kansas does. Dedrick Lawson, double-double. Kansas by 8.
Fair enough. And it just goes to show, we've said it all year, Tyler has been the forefront. If you're not watching these smaller conferences, you might regret it. Northeastern's one of these smaller schools that's going to give Kansas the game for a little bit, maybe the whole game, but at least for a little bit.
It'll be the whole game based on these boys this year. Lord have mercy.
Bottom part of this bracket, moving forward, we have the 6 seed Iowa State playing the 11 seed Ohio State Buckeyes. The Buckeyes got in off the bubble. Just kind of squeaked in. They're limping in. They got Wesson back. Wasn't that his name, Wesson?
I think
CJ
so.
Wesson?
CJ, yeah.
I just don't. Iowa State's the Big 12 tournament champions, playing really well right now. Tyler can allude to it. We kind of talked about it at the top of the program. Scores the basketball at will almost at times. Give me the Cyclones.
Shayak, Michael Jacobson, Tyrese Halliburton, Jalen Horton-Tucker. I only know one person off Ohio State that's worth a damn. You can't stop these Cyclones right now. They're going to run right past you, Ohio State. I keep saying that, and I need to stop. Iowa State beats Ohio State.
Sweep it. I got Iowa State winning too.
Fair enough. 3 seed versus 14 seed matchup. Of all the 3 14s that we've had so far, and I just had one in the other bracket, 14. Old Dominion playing Purdue close. This isn't going to be close. No offense,
No.
Georgia State, but Houston's pretty damn good. Give me Houston in a rout.
Houston's been playing extremely well. Georgia State has a good record, but it's not the type of talent that Houston's been playing. I got Houston on this pretty handedly.
Yeah, easy decision for me, Houston.
Now this one would be a fun one right here, boys.
Oh, my
7-10 matchups are always fun, but this has a little extra. You've got the number 7 seed Wofford, the highest seed that the Southern Conference has gotten, I think, since at least Davidson, Steph Curry days. 10
White
seed,
Lobster.
10 seed Seton Hall. You all know my love affair with the SoCon this year. I've been preaching them from episode 1. You go back to the first episode, and I've been preaching on the Southern Conference. Wofford was the class of that field. You have a dude all-time, not just this year, all-time great three-point shooter. He's, I think, top 5 now in three-pointers made in,
He is. I'm
in
pretty sure he is.
NCAA Division I men's history. Fletcher McGee, a dude gets like, what, 20-some a game? 20-some a game.
20.5.
He's top 5 all-time, like I said. Wofford's second in the nation in three-point percentage, shoots 46%, 43%, right around there.
Tough.
They can stroke. Seton Hall's led by Miles Powell, a dude who, former shout-out of ours, Peyton's big on him.
I'm very
a dude
big
that
on
can
him.
easily in this tournament go get 50 on any given night. Seton Hall limped their way a little bit into the tournament. I'm sticking with them. I've been high on them all year. Give me the Wofford Terriers.
Good.
This is my one and only upset in this round. I've watched Miles Powell ever since Peyton started talking about him. I was kind of just, whatever.
Yeah.
But I've got a chance to watch him play in their conference play here. I like Seton Hall. I like Miles Powell. He is a tough individual, and if he gets rolling, this is going to be a good one-on-one matchup. We talked about John Morant and Howard, but this will be another one. McGee and Powell, it's tough. But I'm gonna take Seton Hall in this one.
Tough game. Fletcher McGee can hit the three really well. He's a 43% career three-point shooter. Great player. So you mentioned it. I'm really high on Miles Powell. I've been high on him ever since the season started when he played against Louisville and then played against Kentucky. Very good player. I'm going Seton Hall.
That's fair. And in the last matchup here of the first round in Midwest, 2-seed Kentucky Wildcats against the 15-seed Abilene Christian Wildcats. Abilene Christian, they could shoot the three really well. They do chuck a lot of them up. Kentucky's one weakness this year for majority of the year, or at least early, defending the three. Abilene could definitely stay around. Kentucky's too big, too talented, too good. I think the Kentucky Wildcats rolled Abilene Christian Wildcats probably about 20-25. They're favored by 22 when the line opened up last night. Let's just say I think they'll cover the spread.
They're going to cover the spread, definitely. Peterson will agree with us, over there on his podcast that he does for us as well. But Abigail Christian's going to need a hero if they're going to get this game, and they don't have it. PJ, Tyler Hero, Reed, Johnson, just too much. These guys got into the tournament. You're going to make an appearance, hang your banner that you made it. It ends here, boys. Kentucky.
So we move on. We've mentioned this as the best region. These second round matchups are the best top to bottom that you'll find. On my side, I have North Carolina versus Washington. Washington, I almost picked them because of how aggressive their 2-3. Carolina is a good team, but they don't shoot the ball consistently. You ask Carolina fans, Conrad. You ask Sam and Summer Hildebrand. You ask a lot of North Carolina fans, their one thing is we wish we'd shoot the ball more consistently. You're going to have to be able to break that zone down. I think they have just enough. If they stick a guy like Luke May in the middle of it, him picking and popping, his offensive rebounds, I think Carolina wins, but I think it's a lot closer than people would expect. Carolina over Washington, probably about 6 points.
I got Carolina in there, but I got them against Utah State. If it was to go against the zone against Washington, I think you stick Luke May in the middle and let him pick them apart. And Colby running there on the side and Johnson slashing. Regardless of the matchup, I agree with Josh. North Carolina gets past this round.
As do you. I got North Carolina taking on Utah State. Utah State's going to keep it close for a little bit. But you mentioned Carolina's not shooting the ball consistently. But when they do, they're pretty damn good. They hit a lot of shots. Cam Johnson, 48% from three-point line. Great player. I got Carolina moving on.
Real quick, moving on. The one thing against any defense, you don't want to play against that defense. Push the ball before they get set up. Carolina is better than anybody that in the nation.
Very true.
Boy, if this thing had Zoom on it, or Noah could zoom in, you'd see the drool coming out of my mouth for this matchup. The 5-4 matchup, the Auburn Tigers against the Kansas Jayhawks. Oh my Lord. Oh, my Lord. Kansas thought it was bad having to play Northeastern shooting threes. Now you got a better team shooting threes at you, and you've got an NBA talent down low to rebound and kind of neutralize Dedrick Lawson. Oh, my Lord. Plus, Auburn's playing with a lot of confidence. I came this close. I know on the podcast, the audio, you won't be able to see me, but visually here, this close to picking Auburn. I thought about this, but I think at the end of the day, Kansas finds a way to squeak one out by the slimmest of margins. Kansas wins by 2 points, right around there. 1 or 2 points. It might even be a buzzer beater. Jayhawks over Auburn. Damn, that's a good game, though.
Daddy likey. Kansas, Auburn, you touched it. You talk about a good shooting team with size to match. It's going to be rough, and I think it's going to be who jumps out first, because when Kansas gets behind, they can't climb back that well. But if they can stay tick for tack and continue to grind it out and keep going, and you got a coach by the name of Bill Self, who can get any bucket he wants out of timeouts.
Yeah, dude, he's so good. Oh my God.
Name somebody else that. I mean, I know there's maybe a couple, but that is more consistent at getting buckets out of timeouts or out of the TV timeouts. and I'll tell you you're wrong. Bill Self, and that's not being biased. That's the God's honest truth. You know where my fandom stands. You know I'm not as biased as some others are in the world, but I still believe that Kansas is going to do it. I like I said, I looked at this with Josh like he did, and just pondered. I was juggling. I said, screw it, Kansas, Jayhawks.
What about Coach K, Krzyzewski, for talking about out of timeouts? Because you've seen what he did. You've seen what he drew up against Florida State.
He's good, but that's not the point. Tyler's
No, I get it.
Wrong.
Who you got, Auburn or Kansas?
Tough matchup. I got Auburn.
I do think it's a toss-up. I really do. Auburn is super talented.
Oh, absolutely. That boys can stroke the basketball.
Other matchups in the second round, Iowa State-Houston, another really fun one, another high-scoring game. I don't think Houston has what Iowa State has, though. Give me the Cyclones moving to Sweet 16.
Houston, we have a problem. And it's a cyclone, boys. Here comes Iowa State. Shea Aki, he's wanting this. He's been wanting this ever since he transferred from Virginia. He said, I want to be the man. I want to be the man. He keeps proving he's the man. He's going to do it again against Houston. Iowa State.
Sweep it. Iowa State.
See, in this final second-round matchup of the Midwest, I have Wofford against Kentucky. Wofford presents a lot of challenges. They're a better three-point shooting team than Abilene Christian. They're deeper. They've played a better schedule. They did play some big boys. They played Kansas. Knocked off Villanova, I think so it was. I mean, they've got some good wins. Or maybe it was Michigan. But they've got some good wins. But I think at the end of the day, Kentucky's too deep, too talented. Kentucky rolls.
I got Seton Hall versus Kentucky here. You want to talk about having one individual that can go off and do it, and it's this Miles Powell guy? It's not happening, though. Kentucky's too deep, too strong, too big. They just play too well. They're playing a lot better than Seton Hall is right now.
Revenge game, too.
It's a comeback. Yeah. It's in the back of their minds. And don't you tell me Coach Cal won't tell them about it, too. UK in this, 15+.
I got Kentucky versus Seton Hall as well. Seton Hall won the first matchup. Miles Powell, I don't know the salary. I know he dropped 20.
Damn near 40, I thought.
Oh, yeah. I think 36. Yeah. 36 was the correct. I'm pretty sure I'm high on him. But difference making both of those matchups. Well, the first one is P.J. Washington is in the P.J. Washington you know now. And he's playing phenomenal. So I got Kentucky moving on.
Sweet 16 in Kansas City. Katie bar the door. How fair? I mean, NCAA ain't about fair, but think about this. North Carolina's the number 1 seed, and in my bracket, they're playing the number 4 seed, Kansas, in Kansas City. You talk about Jayhawks fans flooding the arena. But you just think about that on the surface. You would have North Carolina, Kansas, Iowa State, and Kentucky in a Sweet 16 at your site. Kansas City would be lit. North Carolina, Kansas, Roy versus Bill. Bill's had the better of Roy. I mean, they've knocked North Carolina out of the tournament here the last, 3 or 4 times in the last 10 years.
Once.
Yeah.
Not too long ago.
In the last 3 or 10 years, they've beat them 2-3 times.
Yep.
Knocked them out. Just don't think it's going to happen this one. I think Carolina's. I think where Carolina gets them is just pushing the pace, getting them out of position, getting guys like Quentin Grimes and Devon Dotson and Ochai out of position, getting easy ones. A guy like Luke May could get Dedrick Lawson up off his feet, get him in foul trouble. They lose Lawson. Kansas is in big trouble. I'd like Carolina in a real tight one.
Carolina, Kansas, it don't get no bigger than this as far as blue bloods out of the conference or people that don't play each other in regular season that much. In Kansas City, it's crazy. I'm going to put my Kansas hat on here. Let me tell you something. If Azubuike was healthy,
Oh, my Lord.
if De Sosa was in the lineup, if Vic was there, I think we have an argument that Duke is not the number 1 overall team in the nation.
Oh, I'd agree.
Oh,
I would
yeah.
agree.
Duka Azubuike is the best back-to-basket player in the nation. Show me somebody else that he can't take. He's going to come back and show you. But we don't have those guys. We got a problem. We talk about Houston have a problem. It's going to be, we ain't going to click our red slippers and there ain't no place like home because that's where North Carolina's going to send us. North Carolina beats Kansas pretty handedly. They're too smart. Kansas' rotational defense isn't that great. North Carolina's offense and speed is just going to take it. North Carolina.
I got North Carolina taking on Auburn, and as good as Auburn can shoot the ball, this is going to be one of those nights where they have an off night, and when they do have off nights and not shooting the ball well, then it's trouble for them. I got North Carolina winning.
Missed threes equals long rebounds. Long rebounds equals transition points, and that's where Carolina. The other one, do you guys have Iowa State, Kentucky?
Yep.
Iowa State would cause a lot of problems for Kentucky. Most of these teams in this bracket cause a lot of problems for Kentucky defensively, but Kentucky also too defensively is at an elite level when they play connected. I think that's where they would suffocate. And Iowa State's not real big down low, nor did they have the depth in the front court. Kentucky can throw bodies at you. Reed Travis, P.J. Washington, Nick Richards, and E.J. Montgomery, along with a really good set of backcourt players. Give me the Cats.
I wanted this matchup the second I seen it.
Yeah.
I didn't care who was in between there. I wanted this matchup for Shayok. This Michael Jacobson can step out and shoot the three and pull PJ away from the rim. You got Halliburton as well that can match up with Johnson. You got Horton Tucker, who's bigger than Hero, but size and some things just don't matter. As good as Iowa State is playing, Kentucky's playing better. This is going to be one of the best games in this region to see, as far as points scored, defensive battles. It's going to be a tough one. But I do believe that the Wildcats get past Iowa State and a squeaker. I mean, just a squeaker. He's going to be banging. But UK gets past Iowa State.
Yeah, it's fair.
Both teams can score. They've proven that. But Kentucky's a better defensive team. This game is going to you're going to see the old Ashton Hagens from the start of the season. You're going to see him. You're going to see him pressuring dudes, getting steals, and playing good on offensive end. I got Kentucky going through in a close one, like you said.
So we are set up. We've all got the same regional final. 1 versus 2 in Kansas City. A rematch. You've got North Carolina, Kentucky. Both teams are better since they played in Chicago in December. Both freshman point guard are better. I think Kobe White has improved more. I think he's better than Ashton Hagens right now. Cam Johnson's shooting the ball well, but so is Tyler Hero. Hero is a far better player than what he was in Chicago. You can go up and down. P.J. Washington's a better player now than he was in Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
Luke May won't have as bad a game as he did in Chicago.
Yeah.
There's a lot of factors. Carolina wants to run. Kentucky's one of the few teams in the nation that like, let's run. This is going to be a track meet. I think the difference maker, should these two meet up, Ashton Hagens and Kobe White cancel each other out. Carolina's backup point guard isn't as good as Emmanuel Quickley, in my opinion. I mean, Seventh Woods will come off play point a little bit. I think Emmanuel Quickley, a guy like him, and a guy like E.J. Montgomery is the key. Call me a mark or whatever you want. I like the Wildcats moving on to the Final Four, beating North Carolina. In a close one. In a super fun, possibly, you mentioned the Virginia-Tennessee game of the tournament. North Carolina, Kentucky will contend right with it. Chance on the Final Four. This game will be the first one to 90 wins. Give me the Wildcats.
North Carolina plays Kansas, and then you follow it up playing Kentucky.
Ugh.
You're playing the top 2 winning teams ever.
Yeah, and they're third.
They're third. Yeah,
That's correct.
Wang bang bang. You got the Duke recruiting class of all time here. North Carolina versus Kentucky. This was a tough one. This is going to be a fun one as well. Other than the Iowa State Kentucky game, this was another one I wanted to see. I really didn't want Kansas to play Kentucky, but North Carolina, I see too much. I see how fast they are. They've been playing extremely well, as has Kentucky. But when you take P.J. Washington off the scoring column, he doesn't affect the game as positively as Luke May does when you take him out of the scoring column. They took him out against Duke the second time, but he had 7 or 8 assists. So that's 14. That's at minimum 14 more points coming off his fingertips without putting the ball through the hoop himself. I think Luke May is going to do something special. Colby White's he's going to play tough, but, you got Higgins on the other side hounding him. It's going to come down to Johnson and Johnson.
Yeah.
But that's my way of seeing it. Johnson and Johnson. I think Cameron's going to get him. Hero's going to play well, but I like North Carolina. I just like the baby blue going past Kentucky here, North Carolina to the Final Four.
It really, before Peyton makes this, it really is a toss up. Like you can't go wrong either way, because you could sit there and like, well, this team could win, Kentucky could win, North Carolina could win. Just it's whatever flavor of the day.
This is going to be a really good game. And like Cook said, once again, when I seen Carolina was the 1 seed in this region and I seen Kentucky was the 2 seed, I'm like, oh my God, can we please see this game? Because I want to see it again. First game, Carolina was down almost the whole game, couldn't really make a run to come back, couldn't get like a small run, like a 5-0 run, and Kellen Johnson played good for Kentucky. I think he was his leading scorer for that game, if I remember. But I got Carolina winning. The difference maker, it's not Luke May. It's not Cam Johnson. It's not Kobe White. In my opinion, the difference maker in this game is Kenny Williams. He got snubbed on the All-ACC defensive team. He should have been on that list. You've seen what he did against R.J. Barrett. Didn't shut him down, but he played phenomenal defense. Whoever he's gotten, whether it's most likely going to be Tyler Hero, he's going to guard him with his heart out. He's going to be playing phenomenal. He can score. He can shoot. I like Carolina winning this. In a close game. Close as you can get.
What a matchup, though. I mean, so there you have it. There's our Final Four picks. We're going to take one last pause for the cause, come back, start to wrap this thing up. I promise you, though, by the end of the program, you will hear our national champions. Stick with us. One final break. Catch you on the other side.
Got a game plan and we put it in a bag. We tryna build fans, y'all a game that respect. And not the rubber bands, yeah, I know it sounds crazy, but we ain't tryna get rich, homie, yeah, you know it.
Tryna live the good life, living the dream without a care in the world. I know it takes time, but I'm ready for the things I deserve. Gotta stop doing this for you, gotta do it for me. Once I know what I'm worth, I can do this. I can do it for free. I'm tryna live the good life. I'm tryna live the good life.
Yeah, first thing when we wake up, we start trying to think of another song that'll make you bob your head and smile and say, man, this.
We're back. As we promised, this has been a tremendous program, fellas. We have waited all year for this one. We promised you a good breakdown. I think we've delivered on that. But we can't end this show without doing a little shout out.
Shout outs.
Peyton, start us off.
I got to go first?
You get to go with your shout outs. It's like Oprah. You win a shout out. No one wins a shout out.
This guy right here, starting off, I got a couple of teams for this. My first shout out, mention of mayor, Seton Hall, for making it to the Big East Conference Championship and nearly beating Villanova. Villanova beat them 74-72, but it was a close game. Miles Powell played great, had 26 points, I think. And I predicted that, by the way. I said Seton Hall was going to make the championship. They did. Didn't quite make it, didn't quite win it, but they at least made it, and I'm happy for them, and I'm glad they made it to the NCAA tourney. Next up, my next shout-out goes to Belmont for making the tourney, even though they were on the bubble, but they ended up clinching it with the Ohio Valley, correct? Like I said, I'm not good with these conference names. Ohio Valley Conference Championship. They beat No, they got beat by Murray State, but their body work throughout the year. Correct, thank you. Like I said, difficult with these conference names. But they played great, and they made the tournament, and I'm glad. And I actually have them going pretty far in the tournament. My final shout-out goes to a player. Bryce Aiken from Yale scored 38 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists in the Ivy League championship game. Yale ended up winning that, defeated Harvard by a pretty good amount. So shout-out to them. Those are my 3 shout-outs. Who's next? Huh? Cook.
Oh, here we go.
Cook.
Here we go. I only got 2. One's a real one. One's kind of a jab right in the ribs. So here we go. I'll give you the real first. Iowa State. going in and winning the Big 12 tournament, as I predicted. You know, they've won this 4 out of the last 6 years. And if it hasn't been, there hasn't been anybody since 2012 that has won the Big 12 conference championship tournament other than them or Kansas. And the team that won it isn't even in the conference anymore. So I don't know how far they go back. Missouri was the last team to do it.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm sure.
And they do this. They're not a 1 seed. They're not a 2 seed. They're usually a 3 or 4 seed. This year they were the 5, if I remember correctly. So Iowa State winning the Big 12 tournament was pretty special. And I'm glad I actually got to watch the entire thing. I've seen every game, and these boys did what they were supposed to do. The next one. Here you go, boys. If you have seen ESPN at all this week, there was a coach from NC Central.
Oh, my God.
Making the stupidest comment of his life. I do not want to play Duke. Playing Duke is like me playing my 6-year-old son. It's just not even fair. I hope NC Central, I hope you win your buy-in game. You know who you play if you win? Duke. You know what I wish happens? I hope that you walk out there and not a single player walks on the floor for you. You want to make a stupid-ass comment like that? You don't have no faith in me? Bite it, buddy. You don't want to show me no faith as a coach? You're in it to win it. They just shown last year that as 16 can beat a 1, it's possible. It's happened now. It can happen again. And if you don't have any faith in your kids and you want to be like that, so be it. I would not walk on that floor for that man. So shout out to you, NC Central head coach. I don't remember your name because it's not worth remembering.
No.
That's just the silliest. Why would you be afraid of anybody? Who cares? And you know what it does? If I'm a potential, I don't care how good of a coach, if I'm a potential hire, like a mid-major or a major coach looking at him, I'd take that and be like, okay, so you don't want to play nobody? Okay.
Sure. Yeah. What's that going to do for recruiting? You're not going to be able to get
It's not like you get the cream of the crop anyways, buddy. You're going to act like this? Sorry.
Did not like that at all. It's ridiculous.
So with my shout-outs, tournament edition shout-outs, first of all, I want to do a side shout-out to Tyler Socks. He's rocking those Jayhawk socks.
Come on.
Put your leg up.
Ruining it.
You can't-
You're ruining it.
Put your leg up.
Shut up.
My first shout-out is the Colgate. Colgate's making their first NCAA tournament appearance since 1996. Little historical fact, who won the tournament in 96?
Kentucky?
That was the Untouchables.
I wasn't even born then.
That was the Untouchables. Shout out to Colgate. That's been a long time in between making tournament appearances.
Yes, I.
My other one, I've only got 2, short and sweet. I'm going to shout out a city, Hartford, Connecticut. Why Hartford, you ask?
Why?
Because they get the benefit and the luxury and the privilege of being the hosting site to see Marcus Howard versus Ja Morant.
You, buddy.
If I'm in Connecticut, or especially in Hartford, I'm at the arena to watch that game and that game alone.
Oh, my God.
Shout out to Hartford because you got the best individual matchup of the tournament, at least in the first round.
Man.
Shout out to that. That was our tournament edition shout outs. Before we move on to final thoughts, we promised we couldn't just do a breakdown and only stop at the final 4.
Hell no.
That wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
That's like wiping before you poop. My final 4 looks like this. Duke and Texas Tech play on one side. Give me the Dukies. I like Texas Tech's defense. Duke's too powered. They're in the championship. Tennessee, Kentucky in a rematch for the 4th time. There's no SEC referees that I hope call hook and holds. Grant Williams ain't getting away with flopping. Cats get the revenge. So we're setting up Duke, Kentucky. They started the year off in Indianapolis. Duke beat them by 34. They waxed them. Wildcats come back for revenge. Hanging banner number 9. It's 9-time champion coming back to my old Kentucky home. Homerism, all you want. The title's coming back to my old Kentucky home. Wildcats hang number 9 in Minneapolis. And if you want a score prediction, Kentucky over Duke, 81-77.
Cut. I want to go last.
Well, if we stay in rotation, that's what's going to happen.
Okay, I was just saying. I guess that's true, yeah.
The ACC has been the toughest conference as far as top-heavy, and it shows in my Final 4. I got Duke, Virginia, North Carolina, Texas Tech on the left. Duke, Texas Tech, Texas Tech is probably going to be the toughest defense that Duke sees all year. They've seen Virginia. They've seen it. But they have not seen Texas Tech. But it don't matter. Blue Devils come out, go to the national championship game, and who are they going to play? They're going to play the winner of Virginia and North Carolina. Virginia has taken out North Carolina, what, twice this year?
Yeah.
Grab me a broom.
I thought it was
Grab me a
once.
broom.
What? Carolina didn't go to Virginia? I know
No,
Virginia went to Carolina and beat them.
Who cares?
It doesn't matter.
Who cares? They're not going to beat them. They're not going to. North Carolina is not going to beat Virginia. Virginia's going to go back and face the Dukies, an all ACC national championship, which I thought might have been the conference championship game. Duke versus Virginia. I know Duke's beat Virginia twice.
Yep.
Yep.
I know they're going to do it again. Duke with Zion back. There is no reason that they are stopped by anyone. If there is a game that they are scored within 10 points of, it's not even going to be this one. Duke waxes everybody on the way. Maybe LSU gets it within 10, but I have Duke taking it, hanging it up, sending 3 of the top 4 recruits in the nation of the NBA on a high note. The Dukies win.
Okay. I'm going to go less. My Final Four is Duke versus Texas Tech in a rematch. Texas Tech did play against Duke. Duke beat them 69-58 in the first matchup.
In Madison Square Garden.
Madison Square Garden. Trey Jones had a great game. And on the other region, I got Tennessee taking on North Carolina. Duke versus Texas Tech. Texas Tech's tough defense, man. Jarrett Culver had a good game in the first matchup, but just like the first matchup, Duke's too good for him. Zion Williamson's a difference maker in that. Duke moves on to the national title game. Now, Tennessee versus North Carolina. It's going to be an interesting game. It's going to be a good game. You got star players on both ends of the court for both teams. Great coaches. I like North Carolina winning. And for the first time ever in the national title game, you got the Duke Blue Devils taking on the North Carolina Tar Heels. These two teams have never faced off in tournament time. Never. They came close a couple of times, but never have they ever faced. And the first time they're going to do it is in the national title game, which will be most likely the game of the year. This is going to be high-paced action. North Carolina is going to run the floor like they did in the first 3 matchups. Duke's going to come right back, but the difference maker in this, just like it was in the last matchup, Zion Williamson. Zion's going for 30. RJ Barrett's going to have a good game. Cam Reddish, Trey Jones, you name it. Duke Blue Devils beat North Carolina once again, 86-84.
So there you have it. We all agree at least one thing, that it's going to be a blue blood that wins the title. Small schools, mid-majors prove us wrong, but it's looked like the best team all year, whether you think it's Duke, Kentucky, North Carolina, whoever, Virginia. One of those 4 or 5 that started the year with a chance to win is going to be one of them that wins the title. Wrapping this thing up finally, final thoughts on our tournament edition, episode 16. Tyler, I'll let you take it.
You really want me to start this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
This has been, I know we're not done. This is just the beginning of the tournament. But what we do I had someone ask me what makes you separate from the other college basketball shows? Well, it's just as far as what you hear, it's just the 3 of us. Mm-hmm. We're not sitting here with an earpiece in our ear with someone telling us what to say. We don't have people behind the scenes feeding us stats.
Yeah.
We eat this, boys. We eat it up. We watch games and games and games. Throughout the week, we're talking back and forth. We've been kind of, mild-mannered in this one. But just to give you a little insight, it's Noah does a phenomenal job on his end as far as the visual stuff that you see at Premier Giant Productions. But what we do, I brought a computer just to hold my notepad up because my computer was messed up. Yeah, everything I did today was by pen and paper. Sometimes we go old school with it. But that's what I think separates us from, the national stage. We give you a little bit of a personal flair, and we go live. We stutter sometimes, we have some fun, but who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys watch it for a reason, and I'm glad you guys watch it. But as far as the tournament goes, we all bleed who we bleed. We all have our home teams, right?
Yep.
Josh alluded to it. When it comes down to it, guys, you let it fly. I don't give a shit who you are, who you got. You wear who you go. You play with who you play. You want to see the damn socks? Right there they are. You want to see the phone? There it is. I got a baby on the way, motherfuckers. There you go. Rock chalk until it ends, boys. I don't care if it's Bill's last game of his career at Kansas. Put my flip-flop down. I don't give a shit. I will be with Kansas until I die. I do not change my mind. It is what it is, boys. Kentucky bleed blue. Throw the L's up, boiler up. I don't give a shit who you're with. If you're a Hoosier, go win the NIT. Fuck them all. Who cares? Let's do it, boys. It's that time of year. It's game time. Go on. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Who's next? Me?
Peyton, go ahead.
Why do you do this every time? Last week you did it with the shout-outs. Why do I gotta follow you again?
I asked, you shall receive.
Dang it. That was awesome. Did not know you was doing that. But it's tournament time. I mentioned it in the beginning. It's where shit gets real. It's where before I start, make sure you go join our group, Facebook, everything, and go join our pool. We have, I think I counted like nearly 20 people in our Tony Challenge.
There'll be more.
There'll be more.
More coming.
$5 an entry. Go ahead.
We'll hook you up, Connor. I'll get you going.
You can do as many entries as you want. If you ask us, we'll know the password. We'll give it to you. It's tournament time. I'm ready to watch these games. I don't care. I don't really care who wins, in my opinion. As long as we see good games, we see upsets, mid-majors doing well, powerhouse is falling, doing well as well. Thank you guys so much. And like he said, I'm having so much fun doing this. I love going to Twitter and looking up recruiting notes, which, by the way, if you didn't know, Keon Brooks committed to Kentucky. We didn't have recruiting notes this week, but he committed to Kentucky. I still got you guys, don't worry. But I'm having a lot of fun doing this. Coming here in Noah's studio. Thank you so much, Noah, for doing this for us. The visuals, everything you see. Shout out to him. Shout out to Applied Art Painting Services, all that stuff. And I'm ready to watch these games. Let's go.
I'll make mine a little bit simpler here. As they alluded to, thank you. Thank you for listening and watching. Can't do it without you. We say it every week, but it's the truth. Thank you, Noah. This has been awesome. This pairing has been well received. We're going to continue. Iron sharpens iron. ECB, Premier Giant Productions. We're going to continue to grow, and we're going to take over the world. I mean, it's simple as that. We're going to take over the entertainment world, the sports world. We're coming for you. Tournament time. We've waited all year for this. It is the most exciting time, the best sporting event in the world. The next 3 weeks are going to be the most fast-paced, action-packed, intense moments that you can find in a sporting conundrum, pretty much, or sporting event. My favorite time of the year, kid and candy store. I know the playing games start tomorrow and they have them on Wednesday. Those are fine. Those are appetizers. The main course starts 12:15 on Thursday afternoon when Louisville and Minnesota tip off. Make sure if you're at work, do what I used to do, listen to it on the phone. If not, take off work, sit at home. Enjoy it. If you have family, make them watch it with you. If you don't have family, watch it by yourself. You don't want to miss out on these games. Every year you see it. It's legendary moments, historic times. Favorite time of the year. I know and appreciate again, guys, we're on a Monday instead of Sunday. We told you the next few weeks will be on Mondays. With that being said, we're in for a wild ride. Peyton alluded to it. Join our Facebook group, facebook.com/everythingcollegebasketball. You must be a member. Once you're there, go to the announcements. It's pinned to the top. Follow those simple instructions. We're doing our brackets through ESPN, $5 a bracket. You do as many as you want, but it's just $5 each time. We're doing stuff like this for fun, for you guys. Try to give you a little money back, grow our brand, grow our business. With that said, this episode 16, tournament edition, like the old NBA Jams tournament edition of Everything College Basketball, presented by Applied Right Painting Services in conjunction at the Premier Giant Studios. Josh Burton.
Peyton Burton.
Tyler Cook.
And we will catch you next week. Episode 17, we'll be previewing Sweet 16, Elite 8 matchups. Until then.
That's all, folks.